And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK Show, and this is going to be episode 250. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK Show, I am going to be having a conversation with Mugen Lord once again. This is going to be his third appearance on the show. It's the only person so far to have 3 appearances on the show, and you guys always say I only favor the white people. Hey, a black man had 3 appearances on the show first. Just saying, for a fun fact that'll be out there when the show hits like inevitably 1,000 episodes at a single point, because that's the goal, is that we're gonna hit 300. That's the initial goal. Then we're gonna hit 500, celebrate, bring some bitches on, have them twerking on the show, ass all out and shit. Then at 1,000, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe I just fucking spontaneously combust or something like that. But I know you guys are gonna want us to talk about the Elon Musk, Donald Trump shit, because that shit just came out of nowhere, and it's been basically just lighting up Twitter for the last like 4 or 5 hours, actually. But the last time that we had Mugen Lord on, we did like the whole like origin and backstory of him and his child's mother and how crazy women are. And anytime someone is like, man, dude, women aren't that bad, it's like, come on, you must live in la delusional land or something like that. Because this is what I never get with women. Women will say, oh, don't go for that girl, go for me, I'm better, I won't do you badly like she will. And it's like, that's a lie, because a lot of girls do that. And like the girls, they'll be like, oh, well, no, those girls on the internet, that's not all women. It's like, yes, not all women are like that, but most of you are like that. So we're batting. So I don't know if you are a person that goes off of like percentages and shit. I would say 80% of women are like that. 20% aren't, if I'm being completely honest here. Like, even women that aren't like that, when they divorce their husbands, take all their shit. Like, what do you mean you're not a gold digger, but you just are a gold digger? Like, what the fuck? That's why I got in trouble on Twitter when I had said getting married is not financially a great option for men. And people were like, that means you must not get girls. You must be gay. Like, you must like suck dick. And it's like, you people can't read. I said, it's not beneficial financially for you as a man to get married. I don't give a fuck if you need emotional attachment because you're just a fucking little bitch. Like, go ahead. If you want to get married, do whatever you want. But you're not going to convince me that's an emotional, like, you're not going to convince me that that's an actual good financial decision as a man. Like, how is it financially beneficial to you? You break up, she leaves you, you pay for the divorce, and she takes all your money. Yeah, how is that financially beneficial to you? Like, maybe, just maybe stop thinking with your fucking dick for like 2 seconds and actually think logically about your decisions. But nevertheless, we'll have all the time in the world to roast women and their horrible fucking decisions they always make. Can you answer me this, dude? Women, women turn like 18 and 19, and like if a guy who's like 25 will date them, they say that there's a power dynamic there where girls like, shouldn't be with that person because of the age gap and everything. So I'm like, if that's true, why are we allowing women to vote when they turn 18? So if we can't trust they can pick like sexual partners for themselves, why are we trusting that they're going to be able to vote and make decisions for all of us?
Well, they keep moving the goalposts, because every time you always see that dynamic and stuff like that, like she's 18, she's grown and stuff like that, and women biologically tend to date guys that's older than them.
Yeah,
they normally like
they even say I want older guys.
Yeah, normally 4 to 7 years. Like women would date guys 4 to 7 years older than them. That's just a biological thing and stuff like that. And every time I used to see somebody, or I would see like a Twitter post, I mean, dude like 30 and the chick like 20, 21, and they calling him a pedophile and shit like that. I'm like, what's going on? And then you got the argument, well, she's still young because your brain don't fully develop until you're 25. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? And it's, and especially when it comes to the older women that says this stuff, right? But then they forget that they were once young going after, older guys when they were that age and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy, but they don't say nothing when it's the reverse. If it's an older woman getting a younger man, they congratulate her. Go get that young man.
You remember that?
And all that type of stuff. Yeah, they do all kinds of stuff like that. Like I said, as long as that the woman is an adult and it's consensual, then it's nobody fucking business. It's nobody business at all.
Because if we're supposed to be in a society where if the kids turn 18, you're legally considered an adult. Doesn't matter about your brain functionality, because that's not what the law says. Keep in mind, I don't write the laws. That's what they're made like. If we're gonna follow the laws like law-abiding citizens, you turn 18, you're a damn adult. You do shit, you're tried as an adult. that's how it works,
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like, I don't know, either women have no agency at all with how to make decisions, or they have no agency at all. That's
Yeah, and that's the problem that I hate. Like when it does come to women, like, do you have agency over yourself, or are you a fucking child? Like which one is it?
right.
Because in
Yeah.
some situations, oh, she couldn't think, she was manipulated and stuff. Then other situations, oh, she's independent, she's strong, she can make all these decisions. I'm like, like you can't pick and choose when it's convenient and stuff. When she
Yeah.
wants to become a victim, she chooses to become a victim, and then when she wants to have some agency, then she chooses to have some agency. And I think that's why guys today are getting frustrated and stuff with that, because us as guys, no matter what, we always gonna be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't want accountability, society's gonna make us be held accountable for our decisions and what we do. But then when it comes to women and stuff like that, they talk shit. They'll talk shit about men. Oh, how independent, how strong they are. But then turn around and they want conveniently become victims when it's convenient for them. That's not fair. You can't do that. You can't scream one thing, and then when the shit hits the fan, or
Yeah.
when you want to wiggle your way out of a situation, then all of a sudden you want to go back to your gender roles, or, oh, I'm a woman. No, you can't do that. That's why I think dudes are now speaking more and more up about that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting frustrating and stuff like that.
Yeah. At one point, you couldn't even talk about these things because you would just
Mm-hmm.
be like completely barred from like going on like television and podcasts and all that stuff. You were labeled like a misogynistic, whatever. You were labeled a woman hater. And it's like, so you can't. So we had crafted a place in the world where you couldn't even discuss that the potential that women can be bad people. And it's like, that's why I think a lot of this is starting to, boil over, is because we had a period point in time. You guys aren't as old as we are. There's a point in time you criticize girls, you got about to get whooped, about to get beat up. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we can't like say women are stupid, not are bad
Well,
people. Like, what is this?
dude, I like I said, growing up, but I like looking at how I am today and what I was like a long time ago when I was much younger. I was blue pilled as fuck. I always I always had the mindset. I'm like, every time I would see a dude screw a chick over, or she always cry about what this dude did to her and stuff, and I would just believe her. I'm like, yo, these dudes are just assholes. Why they just acting that way? This, that, and the third, and everything. But once I started growing, started becoming, a young man, and I started actually getting in relationships with women and shit like that, I'm like, whoa. I'm starting to see a whole different side of this narrative and stuff that women will put out when they speak poorly about, their past exes and stuff like that and everything. And then you see their behavior and how they move. I'm like, I don't know. I may need to hear his side of the story, because now, like the way you're treating me, and the way and how sneaky you are into some of the things that you're doing and stuff is not adding up to the story that you told me that your ex did to you and stuff. Because this is not adding up, because the way you're behaving and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I started waking up to that stuff.
Yeah, people literally, and not just like women that seem themselves as perfect. Men literally, there's some dudes, and this is why I always shit on dudes too. People think I only shit on women. No, I shit on dudes too.
Oh, dude, no. I'm glad you say that, because every time, like when we used to get into these debates, I said, yo, I can shit on dudes all day. I said before, that's all I used to talk about and rag on is dudes, bum ass dudes. Dudes ain't shit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that and stuff like that. But then when now you start changing the narrative and start talking about the shit that women do, they don't want to hear none of that and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They try to gaslight you, do all kinds of stuff to make you feel guilty when you call them out on stuff. But I said, yo, I can talk about a dude I can talk about niggas all day. Don't get me started on bum ass niggas. Like I can talk about niggas all day. But no, now they got social media. Now that dudes are speaking up. Now it's about art. No, we gonna shine a light on y'all. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's the other problem too, is that women, you knew they weren't logically thinking ever. Because for women to really come to that realization that you just said, men are always getting criticized. Ever since the dawn of time, men have been criticized for everything, scrutiny, everything, every decision you ever made, every life decision that has been an outcome of the choices you made, everything. Women were kind of like going along for the ride in most cases in like society. If you're looking at it, men built pretty much everything outside of like actually giving birth, and then women got a chance to be the benefactors of all that shit. So men were in the spotlight to get criticized on everything.
Because criticism, us as men, we have to be criticized, because that makes us a better individual, as a better man. So that's how society was built. You constantly criticize us and stuff, we always want to try to look to improve, and we don't want to face humiliation. We don't want to face embarrassment and stuff. So that pushes us to become better men when we face that criticism and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But women, they don't have to face that scrutiny at all as far as criticism. And when you get in that little bit, and they're very sensitive. The moment you get in that tad bit of criticism and stuff like that, it's almost like they like you trying to kill them and stuff like that, or they see that as a form of they're being oppressed, and or all kinds of crazy stuff when you actually criticize them or actually hold them accountable. And no, like you wanted to be equal, and that's why I'm treating you as such. But when you treat them as that, and they actually feel what equality is, they think it's oppression. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. And me having a daughter, you know, that's why I always teach her accountability. I'll always hold her accountable, whatever decisions that she makes.
She'll be graduating very soon, right?
And in 2 years, in 2 years she'll be graduating. I guess this September she'll be in 11th grade. Yeah, so she almost there.
It's crazy. Now.
Yeah, man. And I'm teaching her this stuff because I don't want her going through life thinking that
you guys are in Philadelphia and people know about Philly. Oh my god, that place is blue-pilled into existence. Like that place is crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I see having a daughter and stuff like that, and I'm preparing her for life, preparing her for society, because women now, because of social media and stuff, women and even men too. But when we talk about women right now, when it comes to social media, women were able to create their own echo chamber. You know what I'm saying? So you got simps coming in telling her how amazing she is, and she haven't done shit. You know, because remember, when I grew up, we didn't have MySpace. No, MySpace didn't come yet. We didn't have social media. So we had to go out and actually talk to a female physically. And the thing is, when you met a woman or a female physically, you had to put on your best face, and she had to prove herself to you as well. You know what I'm saying? So she had to work for it and stuff. And as y'all get that interaction and stuff, that's how you get to determine, okay, I'm really liking the vibe that I got with this chick. Yeah. Let's see where this go and stuff. But now women don't have to prove shit anymore. She's go on social media, create her own echo chamber, and people just tell her how amazing she is.
You like the most average looking girl. Literally, it's the equivalent of basically you have like 10 guys saying you're beautiful every single day. Then if her following grows, now 100 guys are telling you you're beautiful every single day. Then you get like in the 300s and the 1,000. It's like, her ego is going to be insanely overinflated.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, and this is where I want to point out, like, how social media and how technology affect both men and women, because this is damaging both genders. Because what it does is it's exploiting our heightened senses, our biology, and what gets us going. Like I said, women, like, way God crafted women were designed to be marveled and looked at, beautiful and stuff. Because us as men, we're physical. We are physical creatures. The physicality of a woman, that's what attracts us. That's what gets us together to procreate and stuff, to be fruitful and multiply and stuff. So women were sculpted in a way to be marveled, to be beautiful, to look at them and stuff like that. So now you got social media and stuff. Now she has an outlet to where she can just constantly get a dopamine rush of validation, because women want validation. They want to feel good. They want people to look at them. They want people to compliment them and give them praises and stuff like that. Now social media, now she don't have to earn that. She can go on social media. It became a drug. She go on social media, post some thirst traps, post pictures and stuff, and all she waits for is sit by her phone all day to see what type of validation and what type of comments she get from both men and women. But what's more important to her is what men says about her and stuff like that. And that's where she gets her dopamine rush. Now, how this affect dudes on the other end, like I said before, we're physical creatures, us as men. When looking at a woman physically, looking at her body, looking at her shape and stuff like that, it gets our hormones rushing. So now you got social media. She's posting up thirst traps. She's in her bra, she's in her panties, or she got no clothes on. So now you got your cell phone now. First you had to go to a computer to look this stuff up. Now you have a cell phone. So now dudes are getting on social media and all they see is sex. That's all they see. They just see a bunch of women naked with their ass out, pussy showing, all kinds of stuff. He's constantly getting hit with that dopamine rush of seeing a woman naked every 5 fucking minutes, or always putting sexually suggestive shit up. So yes, it's affecting men the same way. She's doing it because she's liking the validation, and he's looking at it because, like, damn, like, it's getting me going. It's getting me aroused. It's getting yo, I want to fuck her. And now what the problem is, these dudes not looking at these chicks saying, yo, I want to wife that. No,
Mhm.
What she's doing, she's triggering that aggressive sexual urge, saying, "Yo, I want to fuck her in half." That's what I want to do. I'm not talking. I'm not looking at her and saying, "Yo, I want to build a family with her, have kids." No, I want to fuck her in half. That's what it does. And women are not realizing that, and guys are not realizing that's what's going on. Now, that's why I believe that social media is just, man. And thing is, that it's part of life now. It's like, what can we do to try to balance this or fix this? You know?
Because the other thing, to add to your point, which is like women will be like, "Oh, why are these guys sexualizing me?" Meanwhile, women are out there twerking, shaking their ass and shit, literally showing why dudes will treat them that way. And also, what I think is a nice double-edged sword to that, is when women do that, is because guys can basically see like, okay, that's probably not a person I would probably want to be like married to or wife up. That's a girl you just kind of pound out in the first night and then you just, leave. That's it.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, man. It's women has to understand, like, yes, validation, they love it and stuff like that. But the thing is, going out there, putting yourself out there like that, with the thirst traps or being half naked and stuff. And especially if you're talking about that, hey, you want a guy to respect you, or you want to get in a relationship and have a family and stuff, you're going about it the wrong way. And what hurts it even more, you got this messaging from the feminist movement, and you got this messaging from this sisterhood thing. Like, you can do whatever you want. It's your body, your choice. It's all this other type of stuff. You go, girl, go get that bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bunch of women patting themselves on the back, and this is another thing. Women are their worst enemy. Yeah. Women do not like to see other women happy. Women don't like to see other women succeeding and being in a healthy relationship and stuff. So when a woman, if she's alone and single and bitter and upset, she want to make sure that other women are single, bitter, and alone and upset. So they self-sabotage each other. Like, for instance, if a woman is fat as shit or whatever like that, another woman tell you, say, man, like, no, girl, you gorgeous. Don't pay no motherfuckers no mind, this, that, and the other. You go, girl. Knowing damn well behind closed doors, she's laughing at her, calling her fat as shit too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's less competition she has to worry about. So she's going to continue to make that fat girl feel like she's, like she's somebody. So she's not going to go and improve herself because some other girl telling her that she don't have to change or get healthy or lose weight because she's beautiful the way she is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's self-sabotaging. Women do shit like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she's single, she's going to tell another girl who's in a happy relationship, don't allow him to say that to you. Don't allow him to do this, that, and the third.
She'll be like, your man ain't shit. Because the problem with that is that the girl that you're with will be telling her friend that shit. And just feeding her that information. And then the friend that's feeding that's getting that information will throw it back to her and be like, why are you with that guy? That guy doesn't deserve you. You should go out with your best male friend. It's like, if your girlfriend got a best male friend, that's already a red flag right there. Why don't people look at red flags anymore? Like, no. It's nothing with like controlling someone, but I'm like, if you have a male best friend, I'm like, I'm not cool with that. You just got to let her know. And if she's not cool with that, then she needs to leave. That's all it is.
Yeah. Like I said, like, what people need to understand, especially guys nowadays, they don't know how to set boundaries. And women don't respect boundaries, especially if you a pushover. She's always going to test your limits and see what she can get away with and stuff like that. And as a man, you have to have the mindset that you're not afraid to lose her. And that's what's going on right now. A lot of guys, they're so desperate for a woman to the point where whatever values or core values that they have, they would just tuck it away and stuff because they're afraid that if he lay any type of ground rules or any type of boundaries or any type of code of conduct to respect the relationship, he afraid that she's going to run off and go somewhere else and stuff. So he'll allow her to step across those boundaries that he's not comfortable with and stuff like that until he say enough is enough. By this time, she's looking at him like, wait a minute, you allowed me to do this, so what's the problem now and stuff. So guys got to also learn how to put their foot down and be not afraid to lose her. Because if she walks away because you put these rules, then she wasn't worth it to begin with. If she's not willing to compromise and stuff like that. Because guess what? She expects you not to cross whatever boundaries she have, but she don't give a fuck and is willing to cross your boundaries. That means she has specific rules for her, but they have these rules for you that you must abide by. And that's not how it's supposed to go and stuff.
Yeah. And
yes, a lot of men are spineless. Yeah. I agree, Samantha. Yeah. A lot of men today are spineless.
Being raised by single moms. I think
that's
being
raised. Yeah,
Yeah.
Being raised by, especially being raised by single moms and stuff like that. And they have no tools to be able to go out there and learn how to interact with women. Like I said before, a lot of these single moms raise their boys to be men that they don't even desire if she was his age.
I find, yeah,
that's the crazy part.
It's the same concept of like women will say, "Oh, I want a man who's this, that, and the third." But then if that exact man were to appear right in front of them, they wouldn't want that person.
Yeah, so
it's
she
just performative virtue signaling bullshit. Like that thing you brought up earlier with equality. That's what I was discussing on the show last night. Is like women will say, "Hey, I want a man who's taller than me, smarter than me, stronger than me, better than me about X 9 different things." How in the world would that make us equal? If I'm supposed to be better than you at 10 different things and you're better than me maybe at one thing, that is actually the quite literal opposite of someone being equal to you. Yeah, I guess you consider we're equal from like an actual human standpoint. Like, hey, I'm not actually better than you by just from off just like a base human standpoint. Yeah. But like, if I'm better than you at like 3,000 different things, how in the world is that equal for us? Like, what?
Hold on 1 second. My food is at the door.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm going in, guys.
You're fine. Don't worry. All right, who is here in the chat? So who can I talk to? Emily, how are you doing? How was your day so far? Hello, Master Hobo. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Nye Davis, what's up, man? How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Woke up early, got some content done, and gonna be going to the gym in a little bit. And then after that, I have my other podcast to do with my friend. We're going to talk like League of Legends and, the NBA 2025 finals, actually. Because game 1 is today, actually. Yo Tengu. That's a cool profile picture. Hi, how you doing? We need to debate on women. Good lord. No. I'm pretty sure we agree on most of that shit anyway, honestly. Because women are, Jesus Christ, just so bad these days. Landon Arch, what's going on, Mugen? He's right here. He's black and white at the same time. MSK not thinking with his dick. That's impossible. That is also true. I guarantee. Code J-Man, what's up, dude? Just woke up from my nap. What's up, brothers? Yeah, I have to take naps. Because if I don't take naps, I get old. And I get fucking blown out, honestly. Hey, Samantha, how are you doing? Hope you're doing pretty good. And I think that's it for the most part. MSK has relationships with women and sex with men. That's just not true. I blow out women. That's just not true. God, children should always love their mothers. Yeah, but how do you guys think about mothers who verbally / emotionally abuse their kids? Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot. Man, look, when it comes to abuse of children, mothers are the number one factor to child abuse, because the child is with the mother and stuff like that. And like I said, society had conditioned children, us, to love our mom unconditionally and to love our fathers with conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, no matter how much your mom is a piece of shit, we still supposed to love her because she birthed us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how society has done it and stuff like that. And especially if you grow up in a single household, with a single mom and stuff, and you're a young man, your mom is your authority figure. And what's going on with a lot of young men is they don't respect, male authority, because their mom never respect male authority. He's been raised by his mom. He lives with his, he's surrounded by his grandmom, his aunt, his sister, his female cousins and stuff like that.
Men ain't shit. I guarantee you, it's mostly black women that do that shit.
No, especially black. Dude, I got relatives. I got relatives. Like, it's constantly mothers telling their sons, "You ain't shit. You look just like your father," and all kinds of other stuff. So he constantly hears that, and this what goes on too. Your mom is your first feminine figure. Your mom is your first feminine figure. So what happens is, as a young man, you go out there when you look for a woman, you look for your mom in that woman. So that's why you will see a lot of black men would be with these verbally abusive black women, because his mom was most of the time verbally abusive to him. So when he meets these black women who's always cussing the fuck out, calling him a pussy, calling him a motherfucker, and saying all this type of shit to him and stuff like that, to him, that's nothing wrong. That's natural to him, because he hears it from his mom, or he hears it from his sister. He hears it from his auntie. He hears it from his grandmother. So he's in this verbal abusive relationship with a black woman, because, like I said, he goes out looking for his mother and whatever woman he's with. And it's also the same thing with daughters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of daughters, when their daddy's not around, they try to find their daddy within the guys that they meet. That's why they got abandonment issues. When their father was never around and stuff like that, or their father abandoned them, that's why they go after these dudes or whatever like that, to try to seek their validation, because they're trying to chase their daddy's validation and stuff, and their dad is not around. So they're used to abandonment. That's like a trigger and stuff like that. And that's why they go after these type of dudes. So the parent dynamic is very, very strong. But like I said, it affects young men definitely the most. It's because there's no male figure around, and he lives in a matriarch. He don't live in a patriarch. He lives in a matriarch.
Yeah. That's why it's very important to have a dad. You have both perspectives, and it balances out. Even if your parents get separated, it doesn't matter. Having both perspectives is what really matters. If you just have one perspective, that's where he starts to get fucked up.
And especially in the black community. The black community is a matriarch. Your mama, big mama. Mama is the authority figure in the black community and stuff like that. Everybody follows and listen to the females in the community, because most of the fathers are not around. Or if they're absent, or they either dead or they're in jail. You know what I'm saying? Most of the black men. So now you have a matriarch. Even in my family, I have my mother and father, but the family as a whole my family's a matriarch. It's nothing but women. Especially when you have these family meetings, it's the women that bring it all together, because most of the males in my family are either in jail or they're dead. They're dead or whatever like that, or they just not around and stuff like that. So we have a whole matriarch, and the young men, they are very sensitive, very emotional. That's why a lot of killing happens in our black communities, because they're ran by emotion, not logic. A lot of black young men is running off pure emotion. And the dangerous part about it is, women say they want sensitive and emotional men. You do not want them, because they are the most dangerous type of men. The type of men that's always emotional, because he's not going to think rationally. And when you have an irrational male, he does dangerous things and stuff because he's being irrational. You want a logical
women
male.
don't want those dudes anyway. Anytime a girl says I want a guy that's in his emotions, they never date those guys. They don't sleep with those guys. I don't even know why they even say things that they're never even going to do. Because I always tell people this in life growing up, you should always look at someone's actions over their words. Their actions match their words. That's probably a pretty sincere person. If it doesn't, that person's probably a piece of shit.
This is the thing about women too. The only reason why women are saying one thing but doing the opposite, because women has been socially engineered to say politically correct things. Because you gotta understand, when it comes to men and women, women, their survival tactics is to always be part of the crowd. So because they have to, they're social creatures. The moment they get ostracized from the crowd, they're in danger. And so what they do is, in order for them to survive, they will say things that you want to hear in order to not get kicked out, or not to get expelled from the group, or expelled from the village, call it the village and stuff like that. So they would say things just for survival, and don't even mean it, but that's for them to survive, because they are the fairer sex. They're not strong like us. They can't fight like us, and all these type of things. So her way of survival and navigating, if she has to say things that people want to hear in order for her to get by and to survive, she's going to say those things, but do the complete opposite and stuff like that. So even when it comes to that, when she said, "Oh, I want a man that's, he's nice, he's kind and stuff," because that is the political thing. Because if she says the opposite, she's afraid that other people's going to look down on her, especially other women.
VTuber. Remember, there was this VTuber controversy where this one VTuber lady basically said, "I don't hate men. I love men. I think what they do to contribute to society is great, and I love everything about them." And then a bunch of these other weird, woke, virtue signaling VTubers like, now, I guarantee you most of these VTubers behind those avatars are dudes. They're probably feminine dudes that probably get on their knees and throw their other fucking gay boyfriend next to them onto the desk, saying some bullshit. Like, that's the thing that I don't. That's why you'll have like these relationships with dudes where like you'll break up with a girl and then your friend will blow her out. It's because that friend never had any real actual loyalty to you, because there's no sense of like, hey, that person probably should be off limits, because why would you want to have that when you know what this person probably did to me? Because if that person would do that, they just have no respect for you. That's just what it is.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to bros and girlfriends and stuff like that, I always, like, within my circle, we always had this code and stuff like that. First of all, your girlfriend or your girlfriend and your homies do not mix. They do not mix. I never, unless my homies got their girlfriends, then we all come together. I never have my girlfriend sitting around a bunch of my niggas. Because one, you don't know these niggas. These are my niggas. These are my homies. You have no reason to be around any of them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. I don't want to be around all your girlfriends. Those are your girlfriends. While I'm sitting around a bunch of with you and all your girlfriends and stuff. So when we used to have our little gatherings and my homies came in and my girlfriend was there, she would say hi and then she would go about her business upstairs or whatever like that. Because you're not sitting underneath all my niggas. And also we had this thing, and also when my niggas had their girlfriends, I never stare at their girlfriends. I never even look them in the eye. That's just a respect thing I have. When they have their girlfriends, they bring them over. I will say hi to them. And I'll keep it about my business. I don't engage in a bunch of conversations. Oh, we should hang out sometime, or can I get your number? Maybe we can call, or what? No, I don't do none of that shit. That's the code that we have when it comes to our partners and stuff like that. There's no reason why my nigga should be calling my girlfriend up or hanging out with my nigga, and even vice versa and stuff. And like I said before, I never stare my niggas' girlfriends in the eyes. I don't look at them up and down and shit like that. And when you first meet my girl, you're allowed to give a compliment. So, man, you did good for yourself, bro. Like, she looks nice and stuff. But you constantly keep coming to me and saying, like, yo, she look fine as hell. You constantly keep. Then I'm gonna look at you sideways, like, nigga, like, keep commenting about my chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now,
like if he was like, "Hey, your girlfriend's hot," I'd be like, "Yeah, it'd be nice." Like if your boys are sitting there saying like, "Your girlfriend's hot, you did a good job for," that's great. That means you all have good taste. You can tell what a hot girl is. Yeah, but it's so weird how you hear about these girls and guys on TV, and then these girls will be like, "Yeah, I'm friends with my my boyfriend's friends, and we talk all the time." It's like, oh no, that's just I'm not saying you can do whatever. I'm not saying you can or can't do whatever you want. I'm just saying that's weird, and I'm just saying that always leads to some shit. Like if you have a fight, maybe she goes over to your best friend's, not like your best friend, but a friend of a friend, and then maybe she'll get on her knees and blow that dude because she's in her feelings. Like when a girl says, "I want to work on myself," that means I'm about to get clapped up for a few days.
No, I never fall for that. Oh, I need to work on myself, or we need to take a break. That means she wants to get fucked, just not by you. I don't care what nobody says. They can argue me into the moon come crashing down from Majora's Mask. That like when a woman says we need a break or I need to find myself, no, she wants to find dick somewhere else. That's what that means. Because every time I hear that shit during breakup and stuff like that, you next thing you know, you see her with another dude. Instantly after it happens, she's with another guy. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was looking for yourself, or you need to figure things out. No, she just want to find dick somewhere else. So when she go through that, you might as well say, yo, cut your loss and say, yo, we might as well just break up.
Also, she probably thought she was this concept of girls where they don't want to settle. Oh, it's not even just about girls. In life, you will probably have to settle for some things, which is just how life goes. But if you tell yourself that the person that you're with, you have to settle for, that you're basically indirectly, subtly saying that person isn't shit.
No, check this out. Chris Rock. He did it was an old stand-up he did. And the women got quiet in the crowd. He said, fellas, the woman that's sitting beside you right now that you brought to this show, you was not her first option. Most women, it got quiet. It got quiet.
Speaking truth, that's truth. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, she just settled for you. If she just settled for you, you was never her first option or whatever. Because whatever option she had before, it either slipped through her grasp, or she fucked it up herself, and now she just settled for you. He said, "You ever one day look at your woman one day." That's what he said. Look at your woman one day and look at how she looks at you. And if she look at you with disgust or whatever like that, that would even let you know how she really feels deep down inside about her option and her choice being with you. You was the only dude available, and she treats you. And how you know that you're a second option is how she treats you. How she treats you is how you know. And you look at how she treats other people and stuff. Especially if y'all break up and you see her with another dude and she treat that other guy way better than how she treat you. You was just something to do. You was never her first choice. You was just something to do, something to get by into a better to she believe a better option comes her way,
or that better option just turned her down. And keep in mind, these are like dudes that probably have like 3, 4, 5 different kids. They got good money, they got a car and everything. So their option for getting women like those kind of women right there to that level is nothing. They can always get someone else.
And that's a dude that hurts when you find out, or you find out in some way that you was just something to do to her. That fucking hurts. That destroys a man's self-esteem when you're like, damn, like I was just somebody, I was just a placeholder. I was just something to do and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And
I remember if a girl just said, I'm not interested, I just go about my day. That's how it works. And that happened recently with me with the girl. I got her number and I knew she wasn't interested. Text once, didn't know, no reply back. Good, I can go about my day. That's why I kind of like that girls are a little bit more honest now. Because like, what's the point of leading someone on if you just aren't interested? That's completely fine. Just say, hey, I'm interested. That's it.
Yeah. Because the thing is, like, and a girl that a chick that's more honest is the fact is that she has a lot of options available to her. Mm-hmm. That's the more honest you are, that means the more options she does have available to her. But when she don't have options available to her, or it's starting to dwindle, you know, like I said, women are social creatures. A lot of women can't stand being alone. That's why when they break up, they either have another dude lined up, or they start searching. Right, they start searching.
Don't be in a relationship with them about a few weeks.
Yeah. And jump because she's a social creature. She can't be alone. Men, on the other hand, he has to go back out there and hunt for another woman again. And a lot of dudes, they don't bounce back right away. They have to go right back. Start all over again. They got to play all the mind games again. They got to go through all the bullshit. And this is the thing. I noticed a big difference between talking to women a long time ago compared to now. Because I remember a long time ago, man, it was so much easier. Like I said, we didn't have social media, so we would just go up, talk to them and stuff like that, exchange numbers and stuff. And even the early social media with MySpace, that was another thing too. The early social media was easier too, because it was a new thing. You just meet somebody and stuff like that. But now today, just because a chick gives you her number doesn't mean you got it. Doesn't mean you got her. It's like playing Pokemon. You got to beat the health down real low and then throw the ball and shit like that. So yeah, like just because you got the number of like that. Now the hard part is when you set up the date. Just because you set a date doesn't mean you're going to go out on the date with that chick, right? Because you have situations to where the night before the date, she just hits you up with a message saying, "Oh, something came up," or or she would hit you, "Well, listen, rent is due," or something like that, and I'm struggling, and then she's trying to ask you for fucking money. And you don't know how many times.
Or she'll be like, "I got called into work, I can't go tonight," and then you'll be like, "Hey, can we let's just do a rent check. What's the next best day?" She'll be like, "I'll get back to you." I know. Whenever they say they'll get back to you, that shit's a no-go.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, I'll be trying to tell niggas because it be some of my young boys be like, "Yo, I got her number." Like, dude, just because you got her number doesn't mean you got her, bro. Oh yeah. And then well, we probably go on a date on this day. Just because y'all came up with a date on that day doesn't necessarily mean that y'all can go on that date that day. Like I've seen it so many times happen where the day, or sometimes the day of the date, she pulls some bullshit or whatever like that, why she can't make it and shit like that, or something comes up. Because I remember one of my young boys was really upset because they set up a a time and stuff like that. She told him that she had to watch her little sister because her mom had to go out somewhere, this, that, and the third. So he's like, all right, we can schedule another time. So they said, yeah, sure. Now, the thing was, I don't know what this bitch was stupid or whatever like that. So he goes on social media and he found out that she had a Facebook and stuff like that. And this bitch was at a club somewhere. she was at a club somewhere.
Getting turned up.
Yeah. With her girlfriends talking to other dudes.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, just because you set up a date, got the number, doesn't mean you got her at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. What I've always said too, the average man you can think of, a person that looks, you're grading them on looks on a scale of 1 to 10, and they look like a 5 or a 6. They do not have as many options as girls. Yeah. Girls will always have even the most ugliest of girl will have options.
Yes, because
that's how it works.
There's this one chick named Amanda. She's this goth chick. She's a plus size goth chick that my brother's a kid. Like I say, he's a photographer. He takes pictures of her and stuff like that. She got her own makeup line and stuff like that. And they've been cool. They've been friends for like past 6-7 years or like that. He takes pictures of her products and stuff like that. So they've been friends. So one time they was arguing. Amanda was arguing with some dude on social media, And the dude said, "Man, shut up, you fat bitch! You fat as shit. This, that, the other." And she said, "Well, at least I can get dick though. At least I can get dick though." Even she admits it. It's like she fat as shit, but the thing she bragged about, okay, I'm fat, but I can still get dick. I'm like, well, okay, I guess that's. I mean, like, well, I guess whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yes, just like a guy that's a 1 and a female's a 1, they're not equal at all, because there's always a dude out there that wants to fuck a chick, no matter what she looks like. A dude would sit there and have a bum, a hobo female that's off the street, who's homeless. He would even try to fuck her or have her suck his dick. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said the scale is totally different from men and women, because a woman always can get dick somewhere. And I try to tell women that you can't equate your value to the amount of guys who want to fuck you. You should equate your value as the type of guys who wants to actually build a relationship and build a future with you. Because that's not a flex. A bunch of guys want to fuck you. Just because them guys want to fuck you doesn't mean he wants a relationship and build a future with you.
Yeah, they only see you as a cum dumpster. Like, that's
a cum holster. That's what I call cum holsters. That's all you are. You're a cum holster to a lot of these dudes. So that's not really a flex that a bunch of dudes want to fuck you. You shouldn't know. That's not something to be proud of.
Like Bonnie Blue.
Yeah. You want to do that. You want men that's actually coming to you and say, "Yo, he wants to build a family. He wants to build a future with you and shit like that. Not just want to fuck you and stuff." And women get that all wrong. They value themselves based on how many dudes.
This is why women like Bonnie Blue, at least, even though they've been a cum dumpster their entire life, at least a lady like her, I can tell she's being honest. She's being like, okay, I just want dick. That's it. Nothing else matters. That's more honest than a girl being like, you know what? I don't actually like being like this way, but I still do it. I only say I only do it. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, are women allergic to being honest? What the hell?
Miss Sparkle said Pearl is the only woman who actually got turned down for sex. Is she talking about Pearl? Pearl, that chick that does
Davis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dog, I ain't a lot, though. I would not fuck her at all, dog. Like
I would. Might as well. If it's available, might as going in, dog.
I can't. The thing is, like, it's just, her body is just so weird. It's just that it has no shape. Her hair is always a mess. It's just something like
her smile. Her smile is creepy.
Like, dude. Like if me and her sat in a room and she got on top of me, my dick would not get hard. My dick would not get hard at all, dog. That's another thing with me. When it comes to me, a girl can be hot, but I also still have to have some type of like really like desire for you and stuff like that. Yeah, like I would have to have some desire for you. Like my dick would not lift if I have no desire for you. I don't care how hot you are or what like that. If your person, like I said, if your personality sucks and I just don't like you as a person and stuff, my dick would not lift up at all. Like that. Like I have to really get into it. Like my dick just don't rise up just because you just, man, you bad as shit. No, like you gotta get me, like I gotta have some type of burning desire for you.
Yeah.
And if it's everything else about you it's just shitty, I would not get hard at all. You know what I'm saying? So Doom Blake says, do you believe in the passport bro idea? The passport bros, that's what a lot of dudes are doing. Go ahead, go out there and go give it a try. The only thing I warn you about is that because of social media, I keep saying this to you guys about social media, passport bros has always been a thing. It's been a thing. White men been doing it for a long time, going overseas to go get an Asian woman, you know what I'm saying, and never come back. He goes to the Philippines and stuff like that. Now we're in the social media era and stuff, and the problem with the passport bros now, this young generation of dudes, they're fucking the game up. Because a lot of these dudes who are passport bros, they got YouTube channels, especially the black dudes. They go over there and they act like a pookie when they go over there and shit like that. They go over there, they meet these chicks. I don't want to just say the black dudes too, but the guys in general, but you more so see it from the black guys. They go over there, they make these videos, and they talk about how easy these women are sexually. But the problem is, well, with these new generation of passport bros, you said that you hate modern women because they act like whores and stuff, but then you go over there, and all you're going over there is to get some pussy. I'm like, you can still get pussy over here. Why are you going over there just to look for women, and then you get mad when some of those women do turn you down for sex overseas? But I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you was going over there to look for a wife. Why are you going over there trying to get, you're looking for whores? It doesn't make any sense and what like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes go over there, they film these women, and they talk about how easy these women are. Now, this is where the problem came in. This one black dude went over to, was it Colombia? I believe it was Colombia, I think it was. He goes over there, messing with these Colombian chicks, and he talk about how easy these chicks are and how many of them you've been fucking and all this other type of stuff. Now, you gotta understand, the men in these countries, they feel some type of way that these foreign men are coming to their country, taking their women as it is. They're already upset at that. So now what happens is these niggas are making these YouTube videos talking about their women, and now the men in those countries feel some type of way about that. So the black dude that was making the videos, they literally came to his house and kicked his door down and shit like that. And they was threatening to kill him. And they threatened him so much, they made him leave Colombia because they was going to kill him and shit like that. And because they felt some type of way that he's disrespecting their women and stuff like that. And that's the problem now with these passport bros. And now what's going on too is now you got these women from these countries looking up these videos, and now they're scamming guys. And now they're doing what modern women do, because now they seeing what these men are doing when they come over here, and now they're playing the game. Okay, you want to do this? Well, you want to do this for me. You want to give me this money and stuff like that. And these dudes are ruining it, because it's like Fight Club. You're not supposed to talk about Fight Club, but these dudes are talking about this passport bros, and like the women are seeing it, especially Japanese women. It was a whole video of Japanese women scamming foreign dudes, white dudes, black dudes. They say, yo, we know that they want Asian women, so when they come over here, you know, we'll put on that we're interested in stuff, and they wipe them clean. They wipe these men out clean. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to be careful now. When it comes to this, if you're going overseas to look for a foreign woman, because now they're hip to the game. They're looking on social media. They're looking what these guys are saying about them, about these foreign women, and now they're playing the game. They're playing the game now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really it's crazy out there.
You have shows like the Whatever podcast, and I know people have problems with that show, generally speaking, because I mean, the issue that people have with it is like, well, they invite these dumb women on and then they exploit them. But that's the thing, though, is they can't really, the women aren't being exploited. What the Whatever podcast does that I enjoy is that it shows people how dumb the average woman really is when they're talking. So, yeah, in a double-edged sword, it is kind of promoting them and like their OnlyFans, whatever. But you also get to see these are the type of women that are out there. Not, and keep in mind, it's not all women. It's mostly like the women of this generation that grew up in that feminist movement bullshit. You know, the way they talk. There was one of them recently that literally said, "Hey, white people have privilege." Guy asked her, "What can a white person do that a black person can't?" Girl completely stopped talking. It's literally like, how would, and keep in mind, I ask you this, why would you not want that exposed to you? You're getting exposed how dumb people really are. Well, it's actually a net benefit to you.
For me, well, after a while, for me, I get tired of watching those. I'm like, how many times you're looking at dumb women? I think the problem with those podcasts is too, they don't really go out and shop and actually, they're not really going out trying to have a real conversation. Because there are women out there, and there's plenty of channels with women out there who actually are like-minded and actually have want to have conversations, but they don't go shopping around for women that actually want to have conversations. Instead, they go out for these goofy chicks and these ratchet, these goofy chicks, these chicken heads, and they put them out on social media and stuff. And at first, it was good at first. But now you're starting to have a lot of replica channels that's doing the same thing that these other channels are doing and stuff. And after a while, now this conversation is not really helping us at all. Like we know how dumb these chicks can be now. Let's actually have some real conversation. Get women on here that actually wants to have a conversation. These whores that they're putting up there, they're volunteering because they want to get that exposure. So they're willing to humiliate themselves and say dumb shit because they know at the end of the day, all those dudes that's in the comment section calling them dumb bitches, they're the same dudes at the end of the show hitting up their DMs, trying to fuck or going to their OnlyFans. Yeah. So it's not helping anything. Like you're self-promoting and stuff like that.
That's why I always call it a double-edged sword, because people will see how dumb they are, but then it only enables like those simp those simp ass dudes to go sub to their OnlyFans. But keep in mind, this is what I would say: those simp dudes that were gonna go sub to their OnlyFans, we're gonna do that regardless anyway, even if they're on the show or not. The thing is like, I like now where they're having like one of them just debate the girl rather than just having like a group of them there. I think those shows are a bit better.
It's more productive. I think that's more productive.
Yeah, they need more one-on-ones. Miss Sparkle, yeah, Fresh and Fit kind of was the first one to really do that, bringing like the whole red pill male-dominated conversation. Like, hey, people don't like Myron, but I agree with Myron on what a lot he says.
The thing is, like earlier on, like I agree with Myron on some things, but it's sometimes he does get a little out of pocket, especially when a chick is not getting disrespectful. He gets when they don't get disrespectful and he's just talk to them any kind of way. Like, dude, at the end of the day, you're still a man. Don't talk to her that way, bro. It's not me being a simp or a white knight. At the end of the day, dude, you still a man, and you still supposed to conduct yourself when you are interacting with a woman, especially if she's not disrespecting you and you still talking out of pocket to her and stuff. I don't respect dudes like that when they do shit like that. Yeah, but if a woman get disrespectful, no, you put her in her place and she get disrespectful. It's different.
Yeah, if you're not disrespecting me and it's all good, yeah, you don't just need to be fucking yelling at. Like, there's no reason to be an asshole just cause. Like, I understand being an asshole in the environment of like a job or like the situation that you're in if you're in a position of power. But like, if someone's not disrespecting you that way, there's no reason to raise your voice like that, because that's just unnecessary. That just is you being an asshole for no reason, you know? But I understand, like, girls, I don't know, there's some girls that like being treated that way, man. Girls
no. Like I said, it's bad to daddy issues. It's bad to daddy issues when it comes to that. There's a lot of women that since they have daddy issues that want to be disciplined and be taught a certain way. Like I said,
I can't open a pickle jar either, man. Fuck that, dude.
I dated quite a few women, man, where I felt like I'm their father. The way I have to, like, yo, like, why are you doing that? Like, yo, cut that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll stop. And some of them, sometimes, like I said, they purposely will do things so you can correct them and shit like that, because that's something that they wish that they got back at home and stuff. And it's like, I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to be your dad. Like I like to be your boyfriend, not your father. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's a lot of women that's experiencing that and that's going through that and shit like that, you know? So Myron Gaines is no different from Andrew Tate. Tate isn't the punk though. I got off the Tate train a long time ago, not because of those allegations. After a while, like I said, man, too much of anything can be bad for you. Like, after a while, I just tuned Andrew Tate out. I tuned Fresh and Fit out. I don't even watch like red pill stuff anymore or manosphere stuff. Like, as I said before.
Well, yeah, because like once you already kind of got what they're saying, you have it in your mind. Keep in mind, if you were already thinking about that stuff, what they said only kind of reinforced how you think. You have to factor in the way that they talk. A lot of people think that way, but the difference is a lot of people don't have YouTube channels or a social media platform to espouse the way that they're thinking. And keep in mind, since they have big audiences, their message is going to travel faster than if like we would say that shit. Come on, all of us think very similar. It's just a different kind of method. Keep in mind, we're just getting it. People have to factor in. People have always thought that way. They're just now exposing it more. Yeah, because a lot of people think, oh, it's the red pill stuff. It's just new. No. There have been people that have probably always been thinking like this. They just haven't said it yet. People just are so narrow-minded. Do people really think all that just came out of nowhere? Like just one day we're all just fucking hell. Women are just the bad people when we must start talking bad about them. No, it was a buildup over time. You know, like, hey, despite the allegations with Andrew Tate and his brother, what they're saying is not really wrong. Like, you guys can take it for a fool with women most of the time. And I know it's hard to hear, but hey, do you want to happen when you get married to her and she takes all your fucking money in divorce, or you'd rather not be with that girl? I'm just pointing out.
Yeah. You know? And that's what I tell fellas today too. I tell fellas today, man, not every woman is looking for love. There's a lot of women out there looking for help. That she looking if she got some credit card debt or she got student loans or anything, she's going to fuck with you until you fix whatever problem that she have, and she's out the door. What was so crazy was I went to, like, my daughter goes to private school, so one time I met one of her teachers, this blonde, gorgeous chick or whatever like that. And one day, it was report card time. I was talking to her and stuff. She was telling me how good my daughter is and all this other type of stuff. So one day, I was talking to my daughter, and my daughter kept talking about her teacher and stuff. And she's talking about, like, for some strange reason, like, I'm cool with my teacher, talking about the teacher I met and stuff like that. And so she started just sharing personal stuff. Like, she was telling me about her fiance that she just started, her fiance. And she said, yeah, her fiance is about to be a doctor. He's about to graduate and stuff. And she said to my daughter, I said, yeah, like when said she's marrying him because he's about to be a doctor. Because the moment he become a doctor, she's gonna make him pay her student loans and shit like that. So he's gonna pay his student loans and her student loans. That's what she's with him for. And the thing is, he's not really like he's not a Chad or anything. He's I guess you would say he's like a five, like an average guy and stuff like that. And she's gorgeous. When you look at the two, you don't like they don't even look like they match. But you see, that's why she's with him or whatever like that. Because her previous man was a lawyer, and he slipped between her grasp, so she lost him. But now she latched onto this dude, and he graduated, and now she's saying that yeah, like I'm gonna marry him, and he's gonna pay my student loans. She told my daughter this. So a lot of these chicks aren't even looking for love nowadays. They're looking to see what they can get out of you, and that's what sucks nowadays. Like that's why even on my social media now, like I would rather talk to a woman in person than to actually talk to a woman on social media now, because it's always like an interior motive or a hidden agenda with a woman who always contacts me on social media. And there's a lot of women that always play the long game. Like there's one chick, she hit me up on social media. We get to talking. She would FaceTime me and stuff. Nice looking chick. Like we would talk. And the thing is, I don't call her. She calls me. She would call me up every night, like around 9 p.m. when she get off work. She would call me faithfully and stuff. She would even text me and let me know that she made it home safe and stuff. It's something that she don't have to do. But I like when a woman does that. When she say, "Oh, I'm home. I made it home safe. This, that, and the third, and everything." And the moment we get to the point we start setting up the date and stuff or whatever like that, that's when I told you before. She tells me that listen, her rent was due and she needed help, and she's like she won't be able to go on the date because she had to pay this and whatever like that, and she was looking for me to pay her rent. Now that's the thing. I don't know if that's what that actually is. She could be saying anything and stuff. And you think I'm some simp? You think I'm gonna just give you? I don't even know. Like we've been talking for about past 3 months and stuff, but you think I'm gonna just give you money? I'm gonna just give it to you and shit because you asked for it and stuff like that. And the moment I told her no, like that, I ain't hear from her ever again. So then you have to think about it and shit like that. If she did that to me, she probably has a lot of men lined up that she's asking for money and stuff. So every time a chick hits me up, I'm always saying that, okay, what does she want? What do you want from me? You want something from me, especially when they look at my social media. They see my success. They see what I'm doing with my comic book company. They see me. Yeah. They see me out at conventions, or they see me, or they log into my, onto my, my streaming and seeing super chats and stuff like that. So they see me. They think I'm a piggy bank. So they'll go in there and try to say certain things to try to butter me up and think I'm gonna just give them fucking money. No, it don't work that way. Or if I do hook up with a chick, she think since we fucked or whatever like that now she's entitled to my money, that I have to pay something in her, pay rent or pay, fill up her gas tank or or buy food for her house and shit like that. What the fuck? What do I look like to you? Or get your nails done, get your toes done and stuff like no. It's just crazy, man. Like, so in order for me to actually like nowadays to actually have a healthy interaction with a chick, I can't do social media. I would have to meet her in person because she don't know anything about me. If you're talking in person, she has to gauge me for what's in front of her, not what she can go on social media to find out about me, because that's what they do. They go on social media to find out about you, see what you like, see what your personality like, and see if you got money, and then she will go in for the attack and see what resources she can get from you and stuff like that. And no, I'm not no sucker. Like whatever dudes that you had give you money, like I'm not that dude. I'm not that guy.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was the whole Switch 2 debacle that ended up happening ever since Nintendo announced they were going to be doing their long-awaited Switch 2, and 8 years after the other one, it's finally out now. You pre-ordered yours. Did you get the Switch 2?
Yeah, I got the Switch 2. Hold up.
Did you see a bunch of people in line to get it? Because a bunch of people were saying, "Hey, there's big lines out." That's actually, it's crazy. I don't care how people feel about Nintendo and everything. That's good to see people excited about a new console coming out. It's cool. You know?
All right. So yeah, let me. All right. So I'll break it down for you.
Okay.
So all right. So this what happened. My whole entire life, it's been tradition. Overnight releases, going like if you guys don't know, if you're too young to know anything about overnight releases, they were the best thing as gamers. You know what I'm saying? It's at midnight. You're all in line. You're hyped. You're waiting for that console, or you're waiting for that midnight release of games and stuff like that. And you're in line with everybody who has similar interests as you, and that's video games. You'll all get together, meet complete strangers. You'll talk. And especially during the time when, the Xbox 360 had the gamer tags and stuff, you meeting strangers and y'all exchanging gamer tags or PSN IDs with each other and stuff. So when COVID hit and lockdowns fucked everything up, because now everything is done online. You know what I'm saying? No more of the waiting outside at midnight and everything. But now we talk about the Switch 2. So I was dreading the fact is because of my experience and the nightmare it was for me to get the pre-orders for the PS5 and the Series X. I said, man, I'm going to dread getting the Switch 2 because of these scalpers and all this other type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, the only way for Nintendo to combat this, they better have more available for in-store pre-orders than online and stuff. Well, apparently, Nintendo did something smart. They did have some countermeasures to stop scalpers doing, grabbing a bunch of Switches online, and they made sure they had enough in stock. So you could actually go to GameStop or go to Electronic Boutique or whatever, Best Buy or Walmart, to be able to go in line and pre-order a copy or a Switch too. So so my plan was, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I was every day I do like a 6-mile walk every day in the morning and stuff like that, the workout and everything. So I did a 7-mile walk this time. So I said, you know what? While I'm doing my walk from my house, I'm gonna go to Center City and I'm gonna go to Chinatown, and then while I'm down there, I'm gonna go hit GameStop and see if they're gonna have the in-store pre-orders and stuff like that. I get down there and they told me that we're doing in-store pre-orders, and they said they gonna have 50 of them. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's actually a good number because you gotta remember.
Yeah.
During the PS5 and Xbox Series X, they only had like 8 of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And 5 of them motherfuckers and stuff like that. So you was asked out and shit like that. But they had like 30 to 50 of them. So I was like, yo, so that's 50 people that's able to get a Switch. So Switch 2. That means you better get your ass here fucking early as fuck. So what happened was that that night, because the pre-order is going to be opened up tomorrow, the next day, or whatever like that. And if you wanted to do the overnight pre-orders online, you can do that as well. So I said, I'm not going to do the online pre-orders. But for some strange reason, when I got home, man, I started having the sweats and I started getting a fever. I said, what the fuck? I started getting sick because I was outside in my tank top, walking outside, and the weather, it rained a little bit too while I was doing my 7-mile walk. So I ended up getting sick. So I was like, fuck. Because my goal was I was going to get there at least 4 or 5 a.m. and stand and sit outside GameStop around that time and wait until 11 a.m. I was going to seriously do that shit. But then I started getting sick. I said, fuck, man. I said, how the fuck am I going to do this shit now? Like, I can't go out here like this. I'm not feeling too good. So I said, fuck, all right, I'm going to do the online pre-order. So I already had my tabs up anyway the whole day. I had the Best Buy tab, the Target tab, I had the Walmart tab. The GameStop website fucking suck. I just turned the GameStop joint off.
That website is trash.
That's I don't know what's going on that website. So I didn't waste my time with that. So what happened was soon 12 a.m. came, and since my tab was open all day, they did something. They put me in like a queue line. They put me in a line and said, "Yo, like you're like the first set of people that's in the line. So what we're going to do is do not refresh this page. We're going to put you in and you have 10 minutes to pick out what you want when it comes to the pre-order. And if you don't do it within the 10 minutes, then you can't, you get kicked out." So I was like, oh, this is awesome. So this was Walmart, and also Best Buy was doing something similar.
Yeah.
But when I looked at Target was open. I got on Target while my other ones were open, still waiting in the queue. I saw the Switch 2, put it in my my cart.
Yeah.
And I put my card information in, bam, hit it. And next thing you know, it said there's an error with the card. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I clicked the button again. And then it went through, or it appeared that it went through. But when I looked back, the switch wasn't even in my cart no more. And then it said sold out. So I'm like, are you serious? It was in my cart. So like, all right, fuck Target then. All right, I'm still waiting in the queue for Walmart and Best Buy. But for some strange reason, Best Buy kept freezing. Every time the queue would open up, it would freeze on me. And then it kept locking up and it kept pushing me out of the queue, put me in the queue. I was like, man, fuck that. I still kept it there. I went to Walmart. Walmart did something fucking awesome. This is how they stopped the fucking scalpers. So it told me I'm up next. I get in there in Walmart, and before they even put you in there, icon will pop up. And it said, we need you to left click on this icon and hold down on it, and for the meter to go up. This is how they can tell if you're a bot or not, because a bot can't left click on anything and shit like that. So I had to left click on it. Once the meter goes up, it gives me access to the pre-orders. So I got in there. I put the Switch 2 in my cart. Next thing you know, the cart had an issue again. So now it's not in my cart anymore. Mm-hmm. And then for some strange reason, it was sold. They said the pre-order was sold out for the Switch 2. So it's like, shit, I wanted to get the Mario Kart bundle. I didn't want to get the Mario Kart bundle because that was like $530.
Yeah.
And then I think the Mario Kart is digital, it's not even physical. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, all right, I'll get the Mario Kart bundle then. I put the Mario Kart bundle in there. Then all of a sudden I looked at my PayPal. My PayPal account took out money for 2 Switches. It took money out for the Mario Kart Switch and then the Switch that was removed from my cart.
Yeah.
That appeared to be removed from my cart, but it actually didn't remove from my cart. PayPal, or it did, I got charged for it. So I had it. So when I went to refresh it, it was in my cart. So I have 2 Switches. I'm like, no, fuck that. So I declined the Mario Kart
bundle.
Switch 2. Yeah, bundle. So they gave me my money back and stuff like that. And that's how I got the Switch 2. Now, in the morning, I went down Point Breeze to go get me some breakfast. And I told Keo, he hit me up and said, yo, like, is GameStop doing in-store pre-order? I said, yeah. I said, you get your ass down there now. So he leaves work, he gets off from work and drops down there. It's like 10 a.m. He gets down there, he calls me up and says, yo, I'm in line. There's only 8 people out here. I'm like, are you serious? Only 8 people out here? He said, yeah, it's only 8 people. So next thing you know, my dad calls me and said, yo, what's up with the Switch 2? Is they doing in-store pre-order? I said, yeah, Dad, they doing it right now. Keo's down there. It was like that. He said, all right, I'm gonna meet my son down there. So Dad get down there. Dad hit me up. Dad said, yo, I'm like the dad. My dad's like the 12th person in line. It was only 12 people out there. Like I told you, there was like 50 available. It was only 12 people out there in line. So I was like, oh shit. So it is. What I believe was going on is that so many people were so conditioned to pre-order online.
Yeah.
That now people are not even going to the actual in-store to do the pre-orders, or people didn't know how many was available and just didn't want to take that chance and say, fuck it, I'll just do it online and shit like that. So yeah, so both my dad and my brother, so Keo and Dad, both got their pre-ordered their Switch 2 and stuff. So yeah,
and
Walmart.
Did they get the Mario Kart bundle? They just got the
they got the regular. Yeah.
Okay.
Regular, yeah. Now the thing is with me, I got it from Walmart. Walmart always come through for the win for me. When Walmart came through for the PS5. Best Buy came through for the Series X with me, actually. But Walmart came through again with this time with the Switch 2. And mine's get delivered. I got my confirmation. It'll be here tomorrow, and everything. But my brothers and them got theirs since they did theirs in store, or whatever. They got theirs today. So my brother Keo, he unboxes, he transferred his data. He didn't buy no Switch 2 games. So he said it was nothing of interest. So he said,
you could just transfer the data you already have on the first Switch to the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
People keep in mind. I know people say that there's no games available right now. Guys, listen to me clearly right now. Open your ears. The Nintendo Switch 2 is backwards compatible. All the games you were playing before, you can play on that. What do you mean there's no games?
No,
all the games from the previous Switch can be played on this one.
Now,
what?
check this. Now check this out. Now this is the thing. Not all games are backwards compatible. Not
Yes.
all of them, because the problem is they're still testing certain games. Some games will boot up and won't, and some games will boot up and then just stop, and they have to update some of the, a lot. They put a list out of what games doesn't work on the Switch 2 that's from Switch 1, and most of those games I've not even heard of and shit like that. There's like 2 or 3 that I own that doesn't work and shit like that until they update it and stuff. But a good majority does work. People are still testing to see what works and what doesn't work. But yeah, so my brother was like, there was really nothing on the nothing as far as Switch 2 games that he wanted. So he said, I'm just going to just play my Switch 1 game, because he said he has a backlog of Switch 1 games anyway. Yeah. But some people are discovering
of the Switch 1 games you can play on the Switch 2.
Yeah. Okay. Now what people are discovering that with the Switch 1 that the Switch 2 does enhance without, because what people are confused about, which I think is bad PR on Nintendo's front, because they're selling you an update patch. Like some games you have to pay a fee to update some of these games, some of your Switch 1 games, to get the 60 frames per second and stuff like that. And they're doing mixed messaging, because some people say, wait a minute, I have to pay for it and stuff. But then you find out that if you already have the Nintendo Switch Online service, then the updates are for free. And then you have some Switch games that have a free patch where you don't have to pay anything. It's just you just put the game in.
That's the problem with the Switch 2 is all the marketing.
Yeah, the marketing is just bad.
So confusing. Yeah,
the marketing is just bad. And then now we're discovering, now that people got their Switch 2 and now playing it, now they also find out that some games you just pop the game in, and some of these games are going straight to 60 frames per second without getting a patch. And so it's all this it's bad messaging going around, and people are confused. And that's why when I did do it, I still had to do a video to try to explain some of this to my audience as well. So what's also going on is that you have these things called the key cards, where a lot of people say, wait, a lot of these games are not even, when you look at some of these Switch 2 games, a lot of these games aren't even on the cartridge. They're just a key to get permission or to get access to the game and stuff like that, which that was also a mixed messaging, because there's quite a few Nintendo Switch 2 games that's not a game key cards, the actual full game on there. But yes, you do have a selection that are. Now, some people still don't understand what the game key card is. So essentially what the game key card is, how you have some digital games where you get the box, but there's no cartridge in it. It's just the code. Yeah. And you have to put the code in. Well, it's like what game key cards is pretty much a hybrid. It's a digital game, but it's the key code is in the cartridge itself. So once you pop the cartridge in, you have to be on the internet one time. So Nintendo recognizes it, and then now you have permission to download the game onto your Nintendo Switch 2. But the only difference is you can actually trade that key card in, or you can give it to a friend and stuff like that. So it still acts as a cartridge, but the game is still not on the cartridge.
Because a lot of people are talking about the games with the key cards being like $90 or $80.
That was mixed messaging too. Only certain games, like for instance, Mario Kart's $80. But then I think the Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be $70 or something like that, or whatever. So it's going to be some games that's going to be 80, some games it's going to be 60 to 70 and stuff like that. I think what we're seeing now, what we're going to start seeing moving forward with games, where you're going to have games marked at different prices. There's no longer going to be a baseline where all games going to be this price. Now you're going to have various prices based on what the developers believe the value of that game is. So now you're going to have games that's 40 here, or games that's 60 here, games that's 80 here.
Yeah, you had people that were like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo's the better of the two of the gaming companies between PlayStation and Xbox because they create great games and they're all about the consumer." And then right when the Switch 2 was announced, you see so many people just having meltdowns. And it's like, hey, I understand you can criticize Nintendo and the game prices and all that shit, but I think it's very naive of people to be like, hey, why are games increasing in price? I will just say this, might be an unpopular opinion. What did people think would happen with games? Everything in life has always went up in price. Food, gas, utilities, rent, name anything. It's naive to think that games would never go up in price.
I think
crazy.
I think the problem is it's a lot of. I think more people's upset is the fact is because that a lot of developers are talking out their ass. For a perfect example,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have developers saying that no, games have to increase in price because games are getting more and more expensive. But then you turn around, you see Expedition 33. They sold that's a high profile game.
Yeah.
And they selling that shit at $50. Mm-hmm. So what's the excuse? Well, why is Expedition 33 $50 but your game is $80 fucking and have less content and shit like that? So what's going on here? You tell me that this game has to be raised in price, but then you have a high profile, you have a game that's considered an indie game, which is Expedition 33, but it has high production. They have celebrity actors doing the voices and stuff like that, and they're doing mocapping and stuff like that, and yet the game is $50. But then you're telling me that this game needs to be $80. So how, like, what's going on? So we're getting mixed messages when it comes to why these games should be raised up in prices.
Yeah,
stuff,
and I understand that from a
like
consumer point of view, that if you've been paying $50 to $60 for games for a long time, you'd feel kind of some type of way that the games would be $80 now, given the fact that you've been paying for this kind of quality for $60. You know, but I've always told people this. I would expect them to raise their prices though, because that's just how things go. That's what these companies are always going to
do. Yeah, economics and stuff. But this is the thing. I will say this. I always tell my audience that when it comes to games, you pay for what you think it's worth. If you think it's worth your hard-earned money, if the game respects your time, it gives you the replayability and the fun factor that you're looking for because you are a gamer. You're a gamer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's worth it to you, then spend the money if it's worth it to you. I never tell my audience not to buy nothing or boycott things. It's your money. So with that being said, when it comes to Mario Kart, people are upset about Mario Kart 8. 9, I mean, or was it 8? Was it
8?
9?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
the Mario Kart Worlds, wherever.
Yeah, it's probably Mario Kart 9.
Yeah. I'm saying 9. Yeah. Dude, I'm. It's so many of them now. But anyway, people are upset that it's 80. That is what $80. And like I said, for me, I'm getting Mario Kart or whatever like that. Now, people may be upset at that, or why are you going to spend that much money? I said, for me, it's not a big deal to me. I'll pay the $80 because it seems like it's a fun game. It seems like it's cool. Now, I understand why some people say it's not worth it. If you're a Mario Kart fiend and you play all the Mario Karts and you spend 1,000 hours on it and you know the ins and outs and you pretty much beat your dick to the game all day.
Yeah.
So I understand why you don't think it's worth it, especially after you've seen what they're showing off of the game and you say, wait a minute, it's no different or whatever like that. So I understand the reason why it's like that for you is because you play this game faithfully, like it's a religion. So you know what the value of a Mario Kart game is for you. Me, I play Mario Kart, but I don't play it like that. I play them casually. So when they show me the features and they show me all the various things you can do, I'm like, oh man, like yeah, I'll pay it or whatever like that. I'll play it. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy it or whatever like that. So it seemed like it's worth it to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I always kind of value money versus the actual time of it too. So if you're going to pay $80 for Mario Kart game that you're going to be able to play for about the next 10 years, because the next time we get another Nintendo console is going to be about 10 years. It took 8 years to get the Switch too. Like, I don't know why people don't see that as a value of your money. If you pay $80 for this, but I get to play this for 10 years straight, like I would value that more than, because people just look at money as an investment. If the console you bought gives you paid like $500 for it, but out of those 6 years, you have great memories. You got a good time with all the games that you did buy and play. I find that good. If you're judging it just off a time investment, everyone looks at it from a money point of view, and that makes sense because you know economics have changed and people have to pick and choose what kind of entertainment they want to spend their money on. It makes sense. I like to tell people this too. Nintendo's a corporation like all these other companies. They don't give one rat's fuck about you. All they care about is making money. The fact that people put Nintendo on this pedestal above the other two when they do just about as bad things, that's you guys that did that. You guys gaslit yourself and thinking that there's some saints. The Power World situation proves they're not.
Yeah. This the problem that Nintendo proved me wrong. I eat my words because what I said was that Nintendo, since they're always behind all the time, I said they will be the last to push this whole all digital, especially with these game key cards, because this is a digital thing. Like we're really going to go to this all digital era.
Next consoles will probably be just all digital.
Yeah. And I said in a lot of my videos, I said it will be Microsoft to do it first, and Sony's going to follow suit. I said the last person that's ever going to do this is Nintendo. We're going to constantly get physical games. They're going to constantly get the gamers what they want, and they want to collect physically and stuff like that. And boy, was I wrong, because I was not expecting them to come out with these game key cards And then they came out with the $80 game. Now, here's the thing. The gaming industry was hoping for Rockstar. They waiting on Rockstar because they want these games to go past. They want these games to be $90 to $100, really. Capcom said they want games to be $100 or whatever like that. Capcom, so Capcom said that. That's what Capcom said. I did a video on that. They said they want that shit to be $100. Yeah. So everybody's waiting to see what Rockstar do with Grand Theft Auto. So I said, if anything, Grand Theft Auto is going to determine the price in the gaming moving forward. But goddamn, when they switched got announced and they said Mario Kart was going to be $80, I said Nintendo. I'm like, I didn't expect Nintendo to be the first to do it, you know. So, but like I said, it's still not over yet. We still gotta wait for Grand Theft Auto and see what they do because we at the $80 price range now for games. We still not out the woodworks yet until Rockstar, you know, drop that price and let us know what Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. And you already have people saying they're willing to pay $100 or even $120 for Grand Theft Auto 6. They're already saying it. People are already saying it. I did a video about it showing.
And the problem is like with Grand Theft Auto 6 is Grand Theft Auto is an IP that people will pay out the ass for. But then they're going to look at that one outlier and go, well, everyone's going to pay this for all the games. And it's bro, they're going to release a SpongeBob game, Battle for Bikini Bottom. And you about to tell me that's worth $100? SpongeBob versus fucking Plankton. You know, or like these fucking those little other games that have like NASCAR games or fucking those like Kirby and all that shit. Like, come on, those games aren't worth like $100, you know. But if one of them sells a lot of units at $100, whether it be on Game Pass, that's all fucking Microsoft is Game Pass. If that shit sells on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, or Steam, good, they're gonna think every game should be at $100. I think personally, I tell people, don't expect things not to go up in price. Whenever you feel like there's something comfortable in your life, always expect that shit to go left instantly. If you think games are gonna be $60, that shit's turning now. Games will be varying price. Some will be 80, some will be 90. But this is what people keep forgetting, man. How we got games back in the day. I know people are poor as fuck out there. There's no way you bought games on release. You wait till that shit was on sale. You bought that shit for $20.
Yeah, I was blessed because I was spoiled. Like when games came out, I got it the day it was released.
Yeah,
I was blessed to have my mom and dad. That's why I never had to experience a lot of things. Because now that I have a YouTube community, I have a Discord community, and there's a lot of you guys that come in and tell me, say, "Yo, I have to wait until games actually go on sale," or I have to wait until the console is at the end of its lifespan to buy the console and stuff like that. I know motherfuckers now that's just now getting the PS4 just now. And stuff like that, and I know people who can't afford games, so that all they do is invest in just emulators. They just emulate all their games, or they just pirate all their games and stuff like that. Me, I don't know what their experience is like because I always got what I wanted. My mom and dad.
But it's crazy how these kind of people are that know that they do that. If you want it badly enough, either you could have. It's easy. You could have just saved money. You can save money before these things come out. If you know they're going to come out, you save money. And if you have to get stuff on sale, well, that's just how it is. Like, I don't know what else to really tell that kind of person. It's like, what do you want me to do? Fucking bend over, take it the ass, and get you 5 games myself? No, if you have to wait, you have to wait. It's just how life is. I don't want people want to be like, well, I can't get these games, and they're this price, but you were going to wait to buy them anyway. So it has no actual effect on you no matter what anyway. You know? I find that weird.
Now I'm slowing down. I mean, what happens is as games do get more expensive, I will slow down buying the games because they're just more expensive. I'm like, yo, what I do like right now, games been costing like $60 to $70, and I will buy these games and don't play them day one. I would just sit it in my backlog and wait. And sometimes it's some games like I said, I had bought the remake to Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch. I bought that. That game's what, 5-6 years old now? Like 5 years old now.
Damn.
Still in the plastic. I have not opened it. I bought it day one. So now if these games are getting more expensive, I'm definitely going to be like, you know what? I'm not going to buy this because if I spend $80 on this, that's an $80 game that I'm not going to even play right away. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm looking more on the sense of why now I'm just buying games just to buy them. And then not even play them right away. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to go through all these other games in my backlog and stuff like that. So now I will be more conservative about how I approach a lot of these games as they go up on price, especially when I know now that I'm buying them and not playing them day one, and I'm not playing them right away. But yeah, like I said before, I'm learning that a lot of you guys wait for discounts. A lot of you guys focus on just playing on emulators. and some of you guys wait until like the game is like 5, like 4, like 2 and 3 years old before actually buying those games and stuff like that. So I would say I was in more of a privileged position growing up. I got whatever console console that dropped, I got day one. My dad would get the console for me and get the console for himself. Because when it came to my dad didn't play that shit. Well, everybody has to share the console.
Yeah, same thing, Tommy. Like, people forget Black Friday is a thing where games all be going on. Like, people say, but Nintendo games to go on. Jesus Christ. It's like the good and bad. Yes, Nintendo games barely go on sale, but all the other ones do. Like, hey, sometimes in life, there's going to be good and bad. Like, know there's going to be sales at some point. Literally, there's sales at every single point during the year. And I know all of you guys have PCs. Instead of having a console now, just saying, PC Master, get that shit on
Now, as far as PC, it's funny that you mention that. These like these next generation consoles, like the rumor is that the next Xbox is going to be like an Xbox, like it's going to have an Xbox operating system. That in the rumor saying that the next Xbox is going to have Epic Game Store and Steam on it and shit like that. Yeah, that's crazy. And now it has me thinking that I think these next consoles are going to be like strictly digital, and if it is going to have physical to it, that they're going to purposely remove the disc drive from it, and that's going to be like an add-on.
I think so. I think having a disc drive is just going to be an add-on to the consoles.
And at that point, you might as well just get a gaming PC. You might as well just go PC at that point. It does not make any sense.
But people who don't even have PCs say stupid shit. They'll be like, but I don't want to use a keyboard. You can literally hook up a controller to it, USB. Are you that fucking? This is like, I know why these people talk about gamers this way, because gamers are stupid. You know what? They treat gamers like shit. I'm not excusing that, but there's some things people say that are absolutely stupid. I don't want to play on a keyboard. Cool. Buy a controller, hook it up to your PC. There you go.
The only thing about me, I love consoles because when I grew up with consoles, and I love the convenience of consoles. And it's something about a console where, like, when I buy a console, I love when I buy the game physically, I have the box with the console name on it. The console has its own controller and everything. I like how it looks on my shelf and stuff. And every time I try to play on a PC, I just don't have that enthusiasm at all because all my games are digital. It's sitting up in a library and stuff. It doesn't have its own controller. You can plug any controller, which is a cool thing and stuff. But the thing is, it doesn't feel like a console because not only that I'm playing games on my PC, I also edit videos on my PC. I do my taxes on my PC. I watch YouTube on my PC. It's an all around machine. It's not a dedicated gaming machine. It's an all around machine. That's all. I animate my 3D hentai on it. I do everything on it, so it doesn't feel like a dedicated gaming machine. It's an all around machine. So I know it sounds stupid or silly that I'm saying that, but that's how I feel. That's why I will boot up a PC game and then I just turn it off. It just doesn't feel like a gaming machine
experience. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a gaming experience to me at all. Like I don't get that. When it comes to that, and like I said, I got a bunch of
it feels
Steam games.
Like streaming with movies. Like when you go on a streaming service and you boot up a movie, it doesn't feel the same when you got to go out to a theater and watch it. The next thing we'll focus on for the last portion of the time of the show, there's a little bit of indie comic drama you got into with Eric July a while ago.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. So what happened with that? So people don't remember, this was when you had the whole misprint thing with
yeah. No, it was Bloodroot. All right. So, first of all, it all started when Sturgis, a Renowned Zero, I think he was going back and forth with somebody from Comicsgate. I can't remember who it was. I
think he praised you in the retweet.
No, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But what I don't like if you're beefing with somebody, you're going back and forth, do not tag me or put me in that, because the thing is, since they hate you as a person, whoever you congratulate or whatever like that, they're going to go after and target that person out of spite. Or like I said, Frog Tony was talking shit about me, and I had nothing to do with anything. He was shitting on my VK comic and stuff like that, and all because Sturgis was talking about Eric July, and then he mentioned me and showed VK on this is when my Kickstarter was campaign had just ended and stuff. And because one of my subscribers had sent me the video, and he was talking shit to Comicsgate, the members of the Comicsgate, and then he threw me in it again. So then Frog Tony and everybody on their stream started talking shit. Oh, that book is going VK gonna be ass, it like dog shit and all this other type of stuff. And now I'm getting slammed.
That's ironic coming from Frog Tony, whose book looked like complete trash.
I started getting slammed all because because Sturgis mentioned me, because he's talking about Eric July and he threw me in it as a flex to throw shade at them. And I'm like, yo, like, no, like if I'm gonna get haters or get people to come after me, I'd rather them come after me naturally, not because you mentioned my name because you're trying to make a point to these people and stuff like that. I do not want that drama coming my way. So he tagged me in that post or whatever like that, or whatever, and it was talking about the whole blood roof situation and stuff or whatever. So I pretty much said, hey, look, I appreciate the fact is that you like what Venus Orion Comics is doing. I suggest when you going having your problems with these people, do not put me in this, because you also got to understand too, me as Mugen Lord and how I gained my popularity in YouTube was because I had beef with like 2 Mugen forums. I mean, the biggest Mugen forums in the community and stuff. And I had people to say, yo, Mugen Lord, they were beefing with the forums. So people would throw my name out and say, he's a good, this is a respectable person within the community. Why can't y'all be like him? This, that, the third. And next thing you know, I had a whole community go after me. And it got so bad, they would make videos about me. Then they would take my clips and then they would dub their voices over it. And then it got to the point where they started harassing my family members who were on YouTube. And at the time, my baby mom, well, she wasn't my baby mom yet. She was my girlfriend. They found out that she had a YouTube. They went to her YouTube channel, because you gotta remember back then on YouTube, you had to personalize your YouTube channel. You had to put your own backgrounds and stuff like MySpace and stuff. And my girlfriend used to have, or my baby mom, well, my girlfriend at the time, she used to have a picture with me and her together. I'm holding her in my arms and stuff like that. So what that forum did was, they took her background picture, and in the forum, they photoshopped a black eye on my girlfriend and said, this is what Mugen Lord does to all his white bitches or whatever like that. And it was really, really bad. Like people just kept harassing my girlfriend, and they kept harassing, all my family members who were on YouTube and stuff. So I get PTSD. I get PTSD when that shit when shit like that happens. So when Sturgis does that, it just brings me back to that time. And it was a nightmare going through that shit. And I don't want to go through that again. So wherever beef you have, you keep that beef with them. Do not put me in that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then I also too, like I another thing I don't like too is that there's some people who don't say shit about Venus Orion Comics. They only mention Venus Orion Comics when they trying to throw shade at somebody else. Like I don't like that. I don't like when people do that either too. Like if you want to give me props, give me props. Don't only give me props when you try to throw shade at other people. So that's another thing too. I don't like that. So yeah. So I said, while I'm here, I want to give my opinion about the whole blood rule situation. And like I said, this is my personal opinion. I could be fucking wrong about it, but it's my personal opinion. I don't care what nobody say. I believe myself that whole blood rule situation was a fucking misprint, and he didn't want to pay for that shit. He didn't want to pay for it. And he said instead, and this is the crazy part about it, was he went and made a video. And then when he put the video up, I'm like, this video felt kind of awkward and strange too. When he put the video up, he made the video and put the video out there before the books got into people's hands. It was like a damage control thing to prepare people for it before the shit got into people's hands and stuff like that. And that's the vibe that I got from it. Before any of this shit blew up, when I first saw this video, I said, I don't know. And when I seen how it looks, I said, no, dog, that's a fucking misprint, bro. And there's no such thing as in a comic book a cinematic pan. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make sense in comics at all. I've never heard anything like that. So I said, to me, it seemed like Eric didn't want to pay for that shit and reprint it, because, like I said, like, he has big volumes, and I know that's going to cost him anywhere over 10K probably to reprint all that shit up. And so instead of him paying for that, kicking that money out to do that, he gonna just ship it, and y'all gonna have to just have it or whatever like that. That's my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. So that's why I pretty much said, and the thing was, that's when I brought up my situation with the misprints. Mixum fucked up my books. They fucked up the first cover A. I had broke down all my fulfillment in waves. Wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. The first wave that was going out was only people who only backed one of the covers. I put that out there. Then the next wave is people who backed not only the covers, but they got add-ons with theirs. So I can do bundles and stuff, bundle all that together, send it out like that. I didn't want to group everything together. I learned a lot from fulfillment. Fulfillment is not fucking easy. It's not. It's a lot of work, and your goal.
You can see why people pay people to do it for them. That's just a lot.
I'd rather do it myself because you got to think about this too. Like it costs like I will tell you one thing: shipping and what was it? It was shipping and printing takes a big chunk of that. Took a big chunk of that money that I got from that campaign. Mm-hmm. Shipping and printing that book alone took so much damn money. But anyway, so I can only imagine Eric doing it himself. That got to cost. That has to cost him some money and stuff like that. So Mix'em fucked it up. So what happened was how I found out it was fucked up was when I sent the first wave out, and I thank God that my brother Keo and Strike, they said we can't do wave 2 until because they have other obligations. They have a job. They have a a 9 to 5 too as well. So they said, yeah, bro, we ain't gonna be able to do the next fulfillment until we get off on the weekends and stuff. So that's cool. People have to just wait until because my goal was I was going to once wave 1 go out right away, wave 2. But my brother said no, we're going to have to wait to the weekend because we got to go to work and stuff like that. So no, I said that's cool. So I'm glad that it happened that way, and I didn't rush my brothers to go do it because during that week, I started getting emails and people sending me videos say, "Yeah, man, I read the digital comic, but when I got the comic, the pages for some reason is not lining up right." I'm like, what do you mean not lining up? They showed me the video; they're all out of order. The pages are out of order. I said, "How the fuck did that happen?" Mm-hmm. So when I found out, it was only cover A. So what happened was I was like, okay, I said. So I went to go I had to go into the inventory. I had to go back into the inventory and go to wave 2. I had to go through wave 2 and look. When I looked at cover A, I had to rip open because I already packed up wave 2. I had to rip open everybody's package. I had to rip open Cassie's package. I had to open up everybody's package. And when I looked in there, I had to go through all the covers. I still had to make sure and check covers B, C, and D. Yeah. I looked through B, C, and D, had a sample size, and found out that B, C, and D was not touched at all. It was cover A. So when I opened up Cassie's first and looked at cover A, it was all fucked up. So I said, are you kidding me? So I said, yo, I already sent out wave 1 that has cover A's. So I said, yo, all the cover A's are fucked up. I said, what the fuck I'm going to do? So now I'm panicking. I'm stressing out and shit like that. So I had to Mix'em up. I said, yo, y'all motherfuckers fucked this up. I sent them all the videos of what happened and stuff. I said, yo, y'all going to have to do something. You're going to refund me, do something. So he said, don't. It was something happened during the bounding process of the books that caused that or whatever like that. And I'm saying like, yo, didn't y'all have somebody watching and going through the book? Like no one was watching this shit. And I have a feeling. So I told my artist what happened. Now my artist is upset and she's panicking. So she started doing some research. So she found some Reddit posts of people complaining about Mix'em. Now they found out that when Mix'em gets high volume of orders, this is where they start fucking up the books when they get high volume. And this is my theory. I believe the more books that the bigger the volume, less people look at the book. They probably press that print machine, walk off somewhere, and then time to put the book together and don't flick through the pages because it's too many books to look through. So then you got lazy motherfuckers and people not doing their job, and that's what causes this problem and shit like that. So yeah, so he said, don't worry about it. We're going to ship you out a new batch. We'll email you, let you know when this will happen. I said, what do you mean? That could mean any time. Like I promise to get these books out on time. And the thing about me, I'm a person when I believe in when it comes to me, my word is my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to fucking do it. If I say your books is coming on time, your books is going to come on time. So I don't like to be made into a liar. Like my word is everything. And that's the thing that I fight with myself. I'm very hard on myself when I feel as though that I didn't follow through the way I thought I should follow through on certain things. So now I'm stressing out because now I said, yo, it's gonna make me look a liar. This is embarrassing. You know, I talked all this shit about having books on time, and like I'm doing this and doing that, and then this shit happens to me. So now I'm gonna have to eat humble pie here. I'm gonna have to go out to my audience and tell people that, yo, I fucked up. Makes them fucked up, but it's still my fault because it's still my responsibility because y'all trust y'all money. Y'all gave the money to me. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go on social media. I had to humble myself. I said, yo, guys, I fucked up. Mixum fucked up the books. And I promise I'll make this right any way possible. So I will have to halt wave 2 and wave 3 to make this right. So now I'm upset because now I don't know when they're going to send me these books. So what happened was I said, all right, check my inventory for my website, my online store. So what happened was I went to my online store stash because I ordered that stash at a different date compared to the Kickstarter stash.
Yeah.
So what happened was I went to my online inventory, like I checked that those cover A's, they were all perfect. So what I did was I sacrificed my online store inventory and gave it to my backers instead. So I hit them up. I said, yo, guys, there's going to be no delay. I'm going to give you guys my website inventory. And then whenever Mixum come back and give me what they fucked up, then I will replace that. I will restore my internet, my online store inventory with that. So no, there's not going to be any delay. So I'm going to reship. Now the thing that pissed me off was I had to repay. I had to repay for shipping because now I have to reship cover A's back out. I have to reship that, so that dug more into my money again. I told you before, shipping costs a lot of, it adds up. That costs a lot of money. So now I have to repay again for all the cover A's. And also remind you, I was surprised. I had a lot of international motherfuckers. I had motherfuckers from Japan. I had motherfuckers from the Netherlands. I had people from all over the world that wanted this book. So since it was international, man, them shipping fees was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why when people don't understand, like when YouTubers have giveaways, that's why they specifically say only Canada and USA.
Yeah, dude, it was ridiculous. So it ate. So I had to, and I was so angry because it was not fair. Y'all fucked up, and I have to pay for this. So I was like, all right, guys. So I went to Cassie's, went back to Cassie's package, took that cover A out, put my store inventory cover A in there, and I had to go through all the wave 2 and put all new cover A's in there, and then repack those up, and then I was able to ship those out on time. While at the same time, I told people. So then when I found out and looked in there or whatever like that, it was a random batch. Some within that batch of cover A's weren't fucked up. You had some that were fucked up, and then you had some that wasn't fucked up. So now is a matter of, damn, do I send all these cover A's out, or should I wait and hear from people? So I was like, okay. So I was waiting for more people to contact me. So as more people started contacting me, then I would start shipping the cover A's out to people and stuff. Because some people didn't have a messed up cover A. Some people did. So it was like a random. Like if you was that poor soul that got that one, you had to contact me and stuff. So I sent out a massive email to everybody and said, yo, if you got a fucked up cover A, like a misprint on cover A where the pages are mismatched, please get in contact me right away so I can reship this out to you. So I handled that. I put that out there on the tweet and stuff. And my God, bro, I would say this, man. When it comes to Commentsgate and it comes to the Rippaverse, dude, like when it comes to both sides, you are not allowed to criticize either that side or whatever. Any form of criticism or praise. If you praise Eric July, then Commentsgate will say you're a dick rider, you're an Eric July ripatard, this, that, and the other.
They called me a moon cricket.
Yeah, but if you criticize Eric July, then you're a hater. You all kinds of other things and stuff like that. So there's a lot of toxicity comes from both sides. You can't, and so that's why I noticed that when it comes to like Rippaverse reviews and stuff, it took me a minute. I didn't get into the Rippaverse until Yaira. Like I said, I bought Yaira, I bought Horseman, and I bought Gooding. I didn't like Yaira. I did. Gooding started off good, then it fell off because of pacing and stuff like that. It fell off near the end. And but out of all of them, I liked the Horseman, and I got the Ripper Z.
Horseman was very good.
Yeah,
very
I
good.
like the Horseman. I'm gonna follow through on the Horseman. I like the Horseman.
Yeah, Yaira number one was it was crazy because we had to wait for that one for so long, and we finally got it. I thought that because I only read the first 6 initial books, like I saw 1, 2, Alpha Core, Yaira, Bloodruth, Horseman, and Good Ink. Out of all the first initial 6 books, Yaira is the worst one. It's not to say it's unreadable trash.
No, it's not it's not unreadable, but
it's just not good. It
was not that good. And how I know when it wasn't good, I use my daughter's like a parameter to me. Like my daughter, even though she's my daughter, she's like me. She's very blunt, and even though I'm her father, she will tell me the truth when it comes to like critiquing certain things. Because sometimes I let her look at my YouTube videos, or I share my script with her and stuff like that. And my daughter really gives harsh criticism. So my daughter, she just started reading comics because she likes to do things that I do. So when I got an indie comics that I read, she likes to read them as well. Mm-hmm. So like she's been keeping up with the Rippaverse too with me and stuff. So she was kind of excited, and when she saw Yaira, she was really like, "Yo, I really want to see read the Yaira book and stuff when it come out." Like, Dad, you going to get the Yaira? So when Yaira came out and I bought it and I surprised her with it, she was like, "Oh, snap!" Like, so after I read it and stuff. I gave it to my daughter, and then she sat down beside me, and she read the first couple of pages, and she gave it back to me. And I was like, "What, you done?" She said, "This shit trash." She's like, "My daughter said this is trash." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What? Like, are you serious?" And yeah, I said, "I don't like. I said, this is not good."
It's crazy because you could argue ISOM 1 and 2 are better than Yaira, and I met Jen. I like Jen a lot. She was a very soft lady when I hugged her. My God, I had a feeling that way. Look, I was like, hey, I like these girls a lot, but Yaira number 1 was lacking in a lot of narrative flow. The narrative was bad. The villains all stunk. The art was good.
That's my problem was the villains. Like, I was really interested to want to know like the backstory of the villains, like really know about them, because when they came to look for Yaira and stuff, that queen had a hard on for her. She wanted to get her bad. And this was a perfect time to explain why. Like they gave us they kept calling her a traitor and stuff. And I thought they was going to give us a deep dive into the world where Yaira come from to let us know why Yaira is a traitor and what did she do in that other dimension where she came from to why they wanted to get her that bad. And then when she met that bug guy, she said, "I didn't expect you to be among them and stuff, my dear friend." I'm like, so she knows him? So like, can we get some like background of their relationship, how she know that creature and shit like that? Got none of that. They was just like cookie cutter villains. They was just evil villains. And it was kind of like they just dropped the ball with that. It was disappointing. But yeah, I let my daughter read it, and she went through a couple pages. She gave it back to me. She was like, "I'm disappointed. Like, this is trash." I was like, "Oh, excuse me." But yeah, but as I was saying, I like the Horseman. I'm definitely gonna follow up on Horseman. But anyway, so yeah, so like I said, in my personal opinion, I think Eric July, I think whoever he has doing his printing, are not doing their job well, and they fucked it up or whatever like that with the Bloodruth, because I don't care what nobody says. That was not a creative decision or whatever like that. There's no such thing as panning. And making a cinematic pan in comic books, it just doesn't make sense. Never heard of that before. And I think, in my personal opinion, that he made it was an oopsie, and he didn't want to take that hit. And he came out in the damage control and say, "Hey, it was a creative decision, this, that, and third," so he wouldn't have to reprint and pay and fork out extra money. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but that's my personal opinion. And all you can do is take Eric's word for it. Yeah. But like I said before, now that I'm in this sphere of indie comics, seeing how comics are made and stuff like that, and going through the process of it and all this other type of stuff, I'm starting to get the knowledge of this, and I'm like, no, man, that's a misprint, bro. And then what do you know? He can't make that excuse this time with Zaylan. He can't say it was a creative decision or anything like that, because he already exhausts that opinion, or he exhausts that excuse with Bloodruth. He can't use that again, especially after he kept getting shit for that or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, after I said what I said, then Eric July got on or whatever, and me and him had a back and forth, and that's when he said that You know,
You know,
like
it was weird that people had thought immediately you were going to turn into some like EVS 2.0, and it's like,
no,
what?
no,
That's just crazy.
yeah,
Someone
yeah,
having a disagreement with someone means that they're just going to come EVS. That's a
yeah,
reach.
and this thing, I watch both Rippaverse like content, and I watch EVS stuff too. I watch both. Like, I'm not picking a side and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I'm allowed to have a disagreement. Just because I'm disagreeing with Eric doesn't mean I hate the man.
Yeah.
I respect him as a businessman. He's doing what he's doing. Like I props off to him or whatever like that. So I want people to get that twisted or whatever like that. I'm allowed to disagree with this man. Just because I disagree with him doesn't mean I'm on the other camp too. And just because I disagree with Ethan Van Sciver in that camp doesn't mean that I'm just totally on the other camp either. You know what I'm saying? I'm allowed to have disagreement with people and stuff like that. But I think the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way with Eric July was the fact is that he said, he said that I'm surprised, like, you would make this comment about, the whole thing with his book and all this other type of stuff. And he said, yo, I supported, I always supported you. I'm like, always supported me. I know this dude. He's saying always supported me, like we homies and shit. Like, he always had my back and shit like that. Like, nigga, I don't like what have you supported me with? Like, what are you talking about? And so I said, supported me. What have you supported me on? I said, bro, the only time you say you congratulated me with Venus and Ryan Collins because I paid you a super chat and I asked you about your next book. Other than that, you never once. And the thing is, how I know that Eric lurks on people's podcasts to see who's talking about him. He when I sent him that super chat on one of his chats, he said, "Oh, yo, what's up, Mugen Lord?" And the thing was, he didn't really answer my question. He heard me clicked off of it because in the chat, everybody said, "Oh shit, it's Mugen Lord."
Yeah,
Yo, Mugen Lord is the ever. He like I said, most of the super chats, like, he would sit there and linger and talk and go through and stuff. So when I sent him to it, he just got off of it right away. He didn't linger on it. He just moved off it and brushed it off or whatever like that. So I was like somebody, when did he ever? And like I said, he said, "Yo, Mugen Lord, what's up?" Instead and third, I saw you on Renowned Zero's podcast and stuff. Like, cool, you doing your thing and stuff like that. So when I mentioned that to Sturgis said, "Oh, Eric July was there." I said, so it let me know that he lurks or like that. So that means you was on Sturgis podcast lurking, and when I was talking about Venus and Ryan comics, you didn't once come in to comment or talk or mention anything or whatever like that. So I was like, cool. So the only reason why you congratulated me was because I gave you money. So other than that, then he started doing like I said, Eric July and all of us are all in the same circles. Like what's the Vaughn? I was like Vaughn Coleman, or whatever like that. So what happened was when he started doing his shout out videos to indie comics, upcoming indie comic artists, creators and stuff, he mentioned everybody in the same circle that I am but me. I was like, wait, okay. And the thing is, like, he don't owe me anything. Like I made this clear. I said, Eric, you don't owe me anything. But don't say as you support me and shit, or as you always supported me when you never did. And then another thing was when the campaign started and stuff, like I said, I don't expect Eric to tweet out my stuff. I don't expect him to do that or whatever. But the thing was, when I had my campaign for VK and I put the video up and everything, everybody was tagging in on it and stuff like that. LG tagged Eric July, my campaign video and stuff like that. He didn't respond to it. What he did was he reposted. He reposted, and there's a difference between a repost. When you repost, it's just a repost or whatever like that. But when you do a quote tweet, normally when you do a quote tweet, you always follow it up with something. You always talk about whatever you're quoting or whatever like that. So he didn't quote tweet it, because normally when I quote tweet somebody's work or whatever like that, like Vaughn, every time I did his Phenomenova, when I do a quote tweet of his post, I say, yo, you really need to go check out my man, Vaughn Coleman, this, that, and the third. He got a campaign. Go check him out. But when Eric July did my post, he didn't quote tweet. He just reposted. He didn't say, yo, like, here it is. Go check out my boy Mugen Lord. He just put it on his page. Now, Eric July posts all the time, which means my shit will just get dragged and you won't see it or whatever like that. So I said, so him reposting it, that's not helped me. He didn't even mention to his audience that, yo, check out Mugen Lord. Mugen Lord got this, that, and the third. No, he only reposted because LG tagged him in it. If LG didn't tag him or whatever like that, and I know that Eric July looks at my post because he follows me too. So I know he looks at my post because every once in a while he will leave a comment. So he knew that I had my VK thing on there. He said nothing. And the only reason why he did the repost because LG did. Because that puts him on the spot. Because if LG say, yo, Eric, look at this, and he don't look at it, people going to question, like, yo, why are you not looking at Mugen Lore's shit? And whatever like that. So he has no choice but to do it or whatever. But he reposted it but said nothing. He didn't say, yo, check out Mugen Lore doing this thing or a spotlight. He didn't do none of that shit. So when he said that, yo, I always support you, no, the fuck you didn't, bro. Don't say that. Don't say that you always support me because you did. And I don't expect you to because you don't owe me shit. You don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't owe me nothing. But don't say that you always supported me because you never did. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way when Eric said that. But other than that, I have nothing against him. Like I have nothing to get him. I don't hate the dude. Like, I don't like. Come on, I'm doing my own thing. He's doing his own thing. So what? But yeah. So people thought it was doom and gloom, and people say, "Oh man, now we're not gonna get a crossover with Venus Orion Comics and Rippaverse."
That was never on the table to begin with.
It's never on the table to begin with. I'm not opposed of it, but it's never on the. It was never on the table to begin with, but.
People think you were going to be a part of like Rippercent or something like that wasn't on the table at all.
No, I was not doing it. One, like I don't want that Rippercent logo on my damn book anyway. I want VK. I want VK, Variant Killers, Vampire Killers, and Venus Orion Comics. I don't want no big ass Rippercent logo on my book. It's my brand. You know what I'm saying? So. Because people can ask me, like, do Rippercent. I'm like, I'm not doing Rippercent. Like, I'm going to do this fulfillment. I'm going to publish this shit.
Yeah, keep in mind, even if you did ask, there's a reason why Eric has people on Rippercent that have a lot of where you can basically have the goal of a campaign at 60K. Like if you're average, if he needs the average goal for your campaign to hit is like 50K.
Yeah.
Not let's be honest, like 80% of people in the space we're talking about ain't hitting that. That's just not possible. You know?
No.
So you wouldn't have been considered anyway based off the amount of money your campaigns can pull in anyway. That's no shot to you, but that's just how business works.
I know.
Yeah. But the average person doesn't fucking know that shit. It is, oh well, my figure got to have a crossover. It's like, guys, you guys are fucking naive as hell. But it's okay.
No, I know, but I respect it because I do respect it when people think that because it goes to show that there's people in my camp that think highly of my brand, Venus Orion Comics. Because every time I do talk about Venus Orion Comics, people always say like, yo, man. When I first showed the first trailer, people say, "Yo, this is some crazy shit." Like I want to see what you and Rippaverse can do together and shit like that. Every time people see Venus Orion Comics, they always mention Mugen Lore and Eric July in the same sentence. I think that's pretty cool and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So people be looking like, "Yo, man, I like to see a crossover between y'all two, man, because you my favorite YouTuber. You a cool dude. Eric July is a cool dude. I like to see y'all two do things." You know what I'm saying? I already got people I also got people in my audience when I do my Venus Orion Comics streams and stuff. People we already doing like, yo, who will win in the fight? Hezekiah Draven and and the Isom and all kinds of stuff like that. People see stuff like that and already putting my stuff like there. You know what I'm saying? And I just started and stuff. So I like that. I think that's a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for people to be disappointed and think that, hey, there may not be a chance, it was never on the table for one, but I wouldn't be opposed of it if something like that ever happened at Venus Orion Comics, because I do have faith Venus Orion Comics.
Keep in mind, just because people have disagreements doesn't mean they hate each other. That's some shit that this is the worst thing that's ever happened with people as far as discourse. They think someone having a disagreement just automatically means that person hates. It's like, you guys, that's so dramatic. That's what women do. It's so over dramatic and so childish to think that just because we have a simple disagreement, that must mean that automatically I just hate everything about you. That is so childish.
Yeah, man.
And that just is what it is. But then you move on with it. You don't, it's over. Yeah. But
man,
got to head out of here in a little bit. The last few things I'll ask you, man. The first thing is, do you have anything planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about before we head out?
First, I just want to mention that I will be at Liberty Comic Con. That's in King of Prussia in August. Can't remember the exact date because my brothers and them, they do all the listings and stuff. So I'll go to them and ask for the date and stuff. So if you happen to be in that area or you live close by or whatever, you want to come see me, come check me out. I had my first successful convention as Venus Orion Comics last weekend at Geekdom Con 2025. I actually sold quite a few books there as well. Got people on my email list for Venus Orion Comics. Definitely check out VenusOrionComics.com. Put that in the comics.com. VenusOrionComics.com. You can go there. It's not, you don't just go there just to buy my stuff. I have a lot of interactable things. I got news, I got updates. I got my Paragons of Fate, which is my characters. What they're called. They're called Paragons of Fate. They got their profiles. You can go there, like, and I update it monthly with new characters and stuff. So right now there's a total of 9 characters. This month was
bios, yep.
Yeah. This is June. So my first new update, I put Detective Bertelli on there. So she's character 9 on there. So you can get her background and her information and get a chance to know her as a person and as a character and stuff like that. So you can go check that out. But if you want to get a copy of Variant Killers, Vampire Killers, cover A, you can get it from the store itself. Now it costs $16 on the store plus shipping. Now I know the price could be a bit hefty, but you have to understand the reason why I have to make a profit or something, because here's the thing. This is a high quality book. I went with gloss. As you can see, the cover is high quality gloss, even down to the pictures. The pictures are very vibrant. Good. The art, the color, it's vibrant and everything. So I got expensive. This is expensive print. That's why it cost me. I mean,
for me, when I just looked at it right now, the delivery tax on it was just like $5. That's without including like sales tax.
Yeah. So the coloring and the pictures pop out. I chose a high quality print. So that's why in order for me to make money off of it, it has to be $16. But if you meet me at the convention, I sell it for $10. But if you want to get digital, you can get digital for $5 on you can buy the digital there on the website as well. And also too, before I head out, I also for those of you guys who are collectors, I also have the store. I have the store cover variant as well. Right here. This is the store cover variant. For you guys to understand how I do this when it comes to the store covers and stuff, when it comes to my covers, especially cover D. My cover D, which is exclusive to the campaign, so if you miss out on it, you can't get cover D. But just to give you an example, it's a full spread right here.
Cinematic
cinematic. Yeah, so what I do is with my books and everything, I always leave hints and clues on my covers, my special covers, and also on the website. When you look at the imagery on my website, they are clues. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to those. So when I put out new media, when I put out new books, keep those in mind, because it's all, I choose these things for a reason. So the word trigger up here means something. Threatening means something as well. And this woman right here, this mysterious woman, you're gonna find out a bit more about her. And then I have the Elohim's doctrine, which is the scriptures that I made up for my universe, because the Church of Elohim plays a big role in my universe. So it has the scripture, but the scripture is in reference to this woman. So yes, I leave clues and stuff. And this is a variant cover, so it's $20 for this variant cover right here as well. So if you're a collector and you want to get this, I sold out of this. This is sold out. It's sold out instantly. So now I have to I just reordered some more. They won't be here until the 20th of this month. But if you go to the store, hit the pre-order button so you can be able to secure a copy of this cover if this is what you want. But yeah, soon I put this on the store, it's sold out, this cover. So definitely if you're trying to get this, go to the website, go to the store, and hit the pre-order button. I got people already pre-ordering it already. So if you're trying to get this cover, check it out. But as far as content on YouTube is concerned, I'll be talking about Final Fantasy Tactics on Monday, the remaster.
And are you gonna do a Switch 2 review when you open it?
Yeah. Okay. I would also do that too, as well. I'll be working on that. That'll probably be up next week or something like that. And I'll be talking about the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I already put my reaction up already, but I'll be doing a video talking about it next week as well. So as far as my hentai content is concerned, you can go check out my Twitter. I have the Twitter as well. Matter of fact, I'll give you I can give you my 3D Hentai Beauties Twitter. You can go for people to check out. I have a clip store and everything. I had released a Zero Suit Samus hentai. It was like a Fuda female video as well. Then I did a Lady D from the vampire chick from Resident Evil 8. I dropped that video as well. So if you guys want to check that stuff out, you can go to the Patreon, or you can purchase my stuff at the clip stores as well. So yeah, you can put that link up if you're interested and stuff. So stop making me wait on VK Chapter 2. Yeah. It's in. We'll be working on it this summer. By August, because there's some other things that I have to. Me and my artists are drawing up before we get into the development and stuff. And also too, VK uses 3D assets. My artist, she's an architect, so she makes all her assets from scratch. So there's certain things that she makes from scratch as far as buildings and stuff like that. And then she gives it a comic book look. So she's building up the assets right now, because there's going to be one part in Chapter 2 where
if people don't know your universe, if you look at the website, there's a whole built-out cyberpunk kind of universe there. So that's going to require some 3D assets there.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Obsession with people. I don't want 3D in book. Well, fuck. Well, who cares? The fuck.
Manga is common in manga. So
yeah,
that's what I'm going for anyway in my book. So it's not really a big deal. But yeah, she's working on some 3D assets right now. Because there's going to be one scene where Hezekiah. Not to spoil, but he's going to have to avoid after what happened. At the end of the book, he has to avoid the police or whatever like that. So he has to get the Club Jezebel. So the only way to get there to avoid scanners and stuff like that, he's going to have to go through this terminal that's underground. So right now, my artist Jessica, she's building that terminal, that underground terminal that Hezekiah has to go through in order to bypass the checkpoints, so he can get the center city, Neodelphia, to get the Club Jezebel. So yes, that takes some time. So by the time we get those assets done, then we can start the development of the book. So anything the latest will be starting in September, at the latest. But you will be getting character reveals for Chapter 2. God damn. I think I'll be doing that this month. I did say this June already. Fuck yeah, I promise that. So yeah. So you'll be getting a character reveal. You'll be getting the first character. Yeah, you'll be getting the first character reveal this month. And the characters that I'm revealing are characters that's going to appear in Chapter 2. So you will get their first character reveal this month. So stay tuned. I forgot it's June already. I promise. I promise that in March. I promise that in March. And I'm here already. Shit. So yeah, I'll be working on that reveal video for that character. So stay tuned.
So last thing I'll ask you, Matt, is do you have any shout outs you want to give to anyone in particular, and anything else you want to say before we head out?
I mean, just shout out to my audience, man. Like I said, I love the Mugen TV community. I love the Venus and Ryan community, man. Like you guys are like family. You know, I look forward to talking to you guys every time I get online. I always see the usual suspects. They always come in the chat first. That we could chat it up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're like a family far away from home. You know what I'm saying? That I connect with, that I bond with. And I never have any issues with you guys. Even when we disagree, it's never anything critical or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think your audience is also a reflection of who the content creator is. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it has a lot to do with it. I attract people who have similar vibes, that I have. And stuff like that. I think that's why we all get along with one another and everything. So yeah, shout outs to them. Shout outs to you too, man. Like I always appreciate you having me on here as well.
Anytime, man.
Yeah. And shout outs to Cassie. Shout out to my boy Leon. Shout out to Vaughn Coleman. And I
met that guy. He is for sure white. Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to the Phoenix Press. Shout out to everybody who even Katie did. Because Katie didn't even have to put me on her platform, but she always invites me on as well. And also JJ Trujillo, he always shout outs to him because he invites me on his platforms as well. But yeah, that's essentially it, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We'll see you guys later.